Hello everyone, it's Roaster from your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting live stream. And in this video, I'll be talking to you all about my day yesterday. Today is February 17th, 2019. I'm going to be talking about February 16th, 2019. Feel free to jump into that live chat and talk with me on the stream. Feel free to tell me about how you're doing today, if you have any questions for your boy, and if you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on stream. Give me one moment, I'm going to get the live chat set up and start editing the tags and description for the video. I hope everyone's having a wonderful night tonight. Boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-da-dun, da-da-dun-dun. I've been getting really into Gwenpool. I'm going to talk about that more as the stream goes on. I've also been thinking about the RPG that I've been working on and writing. Also, I need to clip my nails. I feel like it's like about that time. I was thinking about that this morning, but Aidan wanted to rush to breakfast so that we could get to a particular breakfast place. But then as soon as we got in the car, we realized, oh my why me dinero. Essentially, they had already like closed more or less, so we missed it by a significant margin. We were trying to get there 30 minutes before they closed because their website said one thing, and then the actual store was like, nope, nope, got them. We are already done. So let's see. So I now have the live chat up, which is marvelous. Now I'm gonna get the description and tag set up. If you've never watched one of these vlog videos, what I pretty much do is put everything that I did today in the description box before I actually start the video. Well, that's kind of weird to say. Like, the video started because, of course, you're watching it right now, but before I dive into what I did today, I like put everything in the description and I tag the video so that it's easy for people to search on YouTube. Because if they search any of the like keywords that we use, hopefully our video will come up among a number of other videos that also use these keywords. Also, if you're new to the channel just in general, we do fan polls Monday through Thursday where you guys can vote for the type of content that you like to see to come on the channel. So I feel like it gives the channel an almost customized feel because it gives you the power to kind of decide what you end up watching. And I don't feel like a lot of channels necessarily do that. But I also kind of free reign a few things. So outside of the fan poll, I just kind of do whatever I want. But the fan poll and vlog streams are regularly scheduled content. So you can predict, oh, he's going to do like a fan poll or oh, he's going to do a vlog based off of like what day it is and what time of day it is. I do the vlogs every day, and I do the fan polls Monday through Thursday. Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. is when I reveal the results. And then I do the vlogs every day a little after midnight. I feel like when I get like a job, I currently have a job offer, but I'm still in college. Once I like actually start working, I feel like the fan poll streams are gonna be a lot later, and the vlogs are gonna be a lot earlier in order to work around like my work times. Because I imagine I'll get out of work maybe around like 5 p.m. or so, depending on how my schedule ends up working. And if that's the case, then I can't do like 1 p.m. fan polls anymore. Like once I like get a job and start working. Um, so the fan polls probably get pushed later. But then because I'll probably go to work like really early, like if they'll let me, like around like 6 a.m. or so, if I end up doing that, then that could end up. Let me hit that save changes button. A, for a minute, I wasn't sure if the description would be too long. I ended up doing a lot today. So sometimes I can like overflow it. Okay, so that's enough of me talking about like what the future might be like. Let's talk about the past and start discussing February 16th, 2019. So I've started talking about my dreams a lot at the beginning of the vlogs, just to give you an idea of what I was thinking about in my sleep, where my subconscious thoughts are going. Before the, but before I go there, I'm going to talk about what I did right before I went to bed. So after the vlog, I was reading Marvel.com and I read the in-depth comic profile on Gwenpool, which is a character that I've always thought the concept of was really cool, but I've never really looked into the lore about. I didn't know that Gwenpool had reality manipulation powers because the big thing that drew me into Gwenpool as a character is that she's a comic book reader from our world who gets sucked into the world of comic books and then uses her knowledge to try and like become a superhero, but she doesn't have any powers beyond that. So it kind of shows how just having knowledge about these comic book worlds can give you like an edge of like existing in them and being able to explore them. So when I learned that she got reality manipulation powers, I feel for some people that would be like a turnoff because they'd be like, no, because that like defeats the point of her just like being really knowledgeable and being able to like use that knowledge in order to get by. But I actually kind of like it. A lot of my favorite superheroes have reality manipulation powers on some level. Red Tornado is my favorite superhero, like period, mainly because I've read every run of Red Tornado that exists, um, and he's a DC character, and I'm really into DC. I've also read every run of Sentry that exists. He's a Marvel character, and Sentry has reality manipulation powers to like a certain degree. Red Tornado, if you look into his history as Ulthum, the air elemental, he creates illusions, but they're the kind of illusions that are just real. Like, it's not like, oh, it's an illusion, so I don't have to worry about it. It's like, oh, it's an illusion and it's punching me in the face just as strong as like the actual thing that it appears to be. Is like, well, then it's just not an illusion anymore. So like Red Tornado, Sentry, Captain Atom is one of my favorite DC characters as well, and he has reality manipulation powers. So when I learned that Gwenpool gets reality manipulation powers, I was like, yo, that's really dope. She also has fought her evil future self, which I think is kind of cool. Captain Atom's done that in the New 52 run. Sentry's main enemy is more or less that he fights himself. Red Tornado, oddly enough, hasn't really fought himself, but he's fought other robots like him. Yo, we got Chosen Katura. Yo, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Chosen said, Beard is wonderful. Ah, thank you for the compliment. Truly appreciate it. I have three questions for you, Chosen. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on stream? And question number three, do you have any questions for your boy? Right now, I'm just going over my day. I posted everything about my day in the description box below. I'm just hitting each point like one by one. But feel free to jump in the live chat, interrupt me at any time. I'm totally down with like having conversations and discussions with you guys. It's all about what you guys want to watch. Right now, I'm talking about Gwenpool. I recently become more interested in her character. I was just talking about how she's fought evil version. Well, she's fighting an evil version of herself in the part of the story that I'm on. I'm watching like a comic story and video about her, and I was talking about how my other favorite comic book characters also end up fighting evil versions of themselves. It's just kind of a trope at this point that I enjoy. So Red Tornado fought like Red Volcano. Captain Atom fought his future self, and Sentry, his whole thing is that he's fighting like the bad side of his personality. So I also dig that. I also didn't know that Gwenpool had her comic book run finished. Like she's had like a 26 issue series and then like that's it. And I'm like, ooh, I feel like I could just sit down and read all of that. I could read through just all of Gwenpool if I wanted and get like fully caught up on her story. So I think that would be really dope. I probably will end up doing that. I was reading Infinite Crisis by DC recently, but it's 36 issues and it's from like 2014. It's just not as relevant anymore for comics. Even when it came out, it was like a game tie-in. I'm not even sure if it was like super relevant then. Um, but I liked the idea of them talking about like the multiverse and having like this big multiversal adventure. Um, but I might put that to the side for a bit and start reading more Gwenpool. Reality manipulation is one of my favorite superpowers. Like I said, a lot of my favorite heroes have it, and I love seeing reality manipulating superheroes fighting themselves, which goes into the whole like reality manipulating superheroes end up fighting versions of themselves because that's just something that ends up happening inevitably. It's either something like Gwenpool and Captain Atom, where it's like your power ends up corrupting you in the future and you end up having to like stop your future self and stop yourself from becoming them, or there's just like someone who has the same powers as you and you have to like go at each other. Kirby, yo, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Kirby said, I have started streaming Dead Space number 4. Oh, ballin'. How are you enjoying Dead Space? Is like, well, you said you just started streaming number 4, and I talked to you when you just finished streaming number 3. So I imagine that uh, not much has changed since last night. But I hope that you're still digging and enjoying the game. My friend Aidan mentioned Dead Space earlier today. He was talking to my friend Jake from high school, and Aiden asked him which did he prefer, Dead Space or Resident Evil. Aiden's like, I've heard people say that they either really like Resident Evil or they really like Dead Space, but they don't fuck with like the other one. And then he's like, I've also heard people say that they like both. So he wanted to know Jake's opinion on it. I've actually never really heard of those being like two distinct camps where there wasn't like crossover. So I do find that to be an interesting question. I personally never really played a Dead Space or a Resident Evil game before, so I would like to hear your opinion on which do you personally prefer, like Dead Space or Resident Evil, and like why. Also, Kirby, how's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy, and do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on stream? I understand if you're not available to talk too much in the chat, considering you're doing your own stream. Speaking of which, if you're interested in checking out Kirby's Dead Space stream, definitely check out his channel, Kirby Ultrastar. He's a great guy, super nice. So, Gwenpool um, is a really interesting character, and I have been enjoying watching her comic story and video that covers like her full 26 issue run, and I'm enjoying reading over the Marvel.com thing. The Marvel.com thing was really interesting. So I didn't know that if you went to the Marvel website and you like went to a character's bio, that it would essentially tell you everything about that character um, up to like where they currently are in comics. Because you'd think that they could like include like a good bit of information and then stop it to be like, and if you want to know more, actually buy the books. But watching this comic story and video, the bio covered like Gwenpool's entire run. It tells you everything that happens in her story and like how she ends up getting her powers. And I just thought that was really interesting because it's like, oh, if I want to know about a character in Marvel, I can just go to the website and I can just learn everything. So I thought that was interesting. So past the Gwenpool stuff, I've talked about the Gwenpool stuff like a good bit now. Last night's dream. So normally my dreams involve like superhero stuff or superpowers. At least they have for like the past few days. But recently, like within the last couple days, my dreams have started getting less weird and more like maybe that could happen. And it's been kind of odd. Kel said, "Hey, what up? Sorry that I left yesterday's stream. Did you check out my stand on Amino? I haven't checked out your stand yet on Amino, but I'm glad that you're here because now we can do that on this stream. I'm gonna pull up the Amino website now, and then I'll make sure to check out your stand once I'm done going over my day. Kels, I got 3 questions for you. Question number one: how's your day today? Question number two: do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? And question number three: do you have any questions for your boy? Right now, I'm talking about last night's dream. But before I was going into last night's dream, I was talking about how my dreams seem to be changing. They're going from being about like superheroes and superpowers to being weird, but just not related to like comic book stuff, which in itself is weird. So I believe my dream yesterday involves me being like chased around a foreign country on a field trip by secret agents and then pretending to be a child in a hotel to escape being like caught by secret agents. But then my dream last night, in part one, I had sex with a couple different girls that I used to have class with, which I think is odd because sex is something that like doesn't happen in my dreams. Like I don't dream about that kind of thing, and I don't like fantasize about sex. So it felt really different just because it's like, oh, like this doesn't happen. I think I had a dream like a few days ago that involved like a Spider-Man when he's like much older and his wife had superpowers and he reveals his secret identity to his wife and then it's implied that he had sex, but it doesn't actually like I didn't dream them doing it. It's just the implication of it was there. So it was really weird to have a dream where I just like did it. You know what I mean? And it like showed it. I think that's weird. I don't know. That just doesn't happen. And then in part two of the dream, I went to a really nice family get together and mom made pancakes. It was like a really like normal thing happened in part two, which made part one of the dream seem even weirder. So my boy Kel said my day's good. He says I'm currently playing Jump Force. It's pretty fun. Oh, great to hear. I've played a little bit of Jump Force, but I haven't played any more since the last time I streamed. Then Kel said, I'd like to talk about the death battle thing once everyone is here. Ooh, about Me, you, and John Mason, each with our superpowers battling out? Yeah, I'm totally down for that. And then he said, three, none at the moment. Okay, ballin'. I'm also pretty excited to talk about the death battle thing. And like I said, once I'm finished going over my day, I'm currently logging into Amino on like a side window. I'll like start looking at your stand. Let's see. Right now it's asking me which Google account I want to sign in with. About. There we go. Okay. So enough about my weird dreams. The next part of the day. So when I woke up, I messaged with Danica, and Danica had car trouble, so she wasn't able to actually come down to do like a date. We had planned to go on a date today at like 2 p.m. And she's like, I jumped in my car. I was gonna like take it to the gas station, tried to start it up, wouldn't start up. Her brother is a mechanic, so she's like, I'm gonna have my brother look at it, but more likely than not, I won't be able to make it down. Excuse me, to Huntsville. I was like, that's okay. So I called Aidan and asked if he and his girlfriend Hannah were interested in getting together for breakfast. So together we went to IHOP. It was interesting to go to IHOP because it was the first time that Hannah had gone to IHOP since she was like 9, apparently. So she's looking over the menu and she's like seeing what she wants, and she split between like getting crepes or getting like French toast. And your boy Aiden, he's like, I remember there being more pancake options before, but it seems like one of them's missing. And he mentioned how there used to be like another like chocolate style pancake at IHOP, and he's like, I can't find it on the menu. And I feel like he's right because I feel like that's what Colin used to always get at IHOP, but for whatever reason, it's just like not there. So I thought that was interesting. After IHOP, we went to Second and Charles, and it's the first time that Aiden or Hannah has ever been to Second and Charles. So Second and Charles is like a big bookstore where they have a whole bunch of books that you can buy. They also have comic books, graphic novels. There's a section where like there are instruments that you can like play a little bit of in the store and then decide whether or not you want to buy them. They're not just a comic book store, as in like they have comics, but you can actually get like a box set up at the store, and whenever new releases come out, your new releases will appear in your box, and you can pick them all up. I feel like whether or not a store has a box system really determines whether or not it's a comic book store or not, in my opinion. So they seem like a legitimate full-on comic book store. You can also buy video games. They have special real sugar sodas. I got a McFuddy's while I was there, which is like a pepper cola that I can only seem to find online and at Second and Charles. I don't know where else it would be sold locally. But the pepper cola has like a nice like sweet flavor, but it also has a burn. It like burns your throat when you drink it, and it makes you feel warm. And I don't know, I really like it. The first time I ever had a McFuddy's, I was hanging out with Danica. I think it was the first date me and Danica ever went on. We went to Second and Charles, and it's really good. The bottle calls it a pepper elixir, and it says that for like each ounce you get like so much good luck, like so many hours of good luck. So if you drink like a whole bottle, it like makes the rest of your day like lucky or whatever. I think that's like a cool little like concept idea. And the bottle has like an old fashioned design that kind of reminds you of like snake oil, and I thought that was just cool. But we went to Second and Charles, looked around at like a few comics, and it was pretty fun. Aiden and Hannah, they were trying to find like genre specific sections around the store, but the store is more organized around like last name of author. So they're walking around trying to find like horror, but if you don't know of any horror like authors that you want to read about, then you can't really find like the horror section. You have to just kind of look the best you can. They felt like the store could have been better organized to allow for a better consumer experience. I think that's true. I feel like Second and Charles organization seems to be built in such a way that's supposed to be easier for people like shelving books. Like it's made to make the employee experience a little bit easier rather than making the consumer experience easier. Aiden and Hannah were like, but Barnes and Nobles has a setup where it's like set up by like genre in their individual sections that go deep into like each individual genre type, and they're not wrong. So there's definitely a way for you to like do it better, and I do agree that Barnes and Nobles does it better. Um, and Second and Charles, I suppose, should just like step their game up on that. But that being said, Second and Charles does seem like a pretty cool place. I'm not sure if I mentioned the arena, but while you're there, you can like give your driver's license to the people at the front, and then you can go into the arena where they have like a few games on like consoles, and you just play video games while you're there. And then once you're done, you just hand them the controller, and they give you your license back or whatever. But it's a nice place to like chill, read comics, play video games, and just walk around with friends. Kells said, Pepper Elixir, good luck. Are you living in an MMORPG? It does give you that kind of feel when you're drinking a McFuddy's. I don't know. I do think it's cool. It does have that kind of vibe going with it. While I was at Second and Charles, I saw Trisha again for the first time in a while. The last time I like talked to Trisha, I was dating the last Gabby that I was dating because I've dated two different girls named Gabby. Trisha and I went on a few dates and started working on a book together a while back. But Trisha isn't really in to like anybody. She describes herself as being like asexual, and she's like, I don't really like guys, I don't really like girls, like in like a romantic way. She's like, you're a cool person, we can be like friends, but it's not really like a dating thing. And I'm like, that's cool. But the Gabby stuff led into like weird drama, and then from there, Trisha and I just haven't talked in a long time. So we saw each other at Second and Charles because she works at Second and Charles, and we both were like, "Yo, we need to start hanging out again, start like working on books, get back into the grind of like writing." We once went on like a date where we went to Lucky Dice Cafe, and we straight up like sat down and we're like, "Let's write a book." And we hung out for like 9 hours just spitballing ideas, typing out like character concepts. And as I'm like typing out like character concept stories, she's like drawing them. It's like pretty dope. Matt said, Jet, stop doing Gabby stuff. And no, don't ask three questions. Yo, Matt, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I won't ask you the three questions because I already know that you don't want the three questions. Dragon Ball Super fan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Three questions for you. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any questions for your boy? And question number three, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on stream? Right now, I'm talking about my day today. I'm at the part where me, Aidan, and Hannah are at Second and Charles, and I ran into Trisha, a girl that I used to go out with back in the day. Not like boyfriend and girlfriend, but just going on dates. And I was describing how we used to like go on like 9 hour dates where you sit down and you just like try to write a book together and you both like spitball ideas. I would like write out character concepts and she'd be like drawing the characters as I'm talking about it. It was really fun. But like I said, when I started dating the previous Gabby, there was like weird drama stuff that happened. And then me and Trisha ended up just like falling on the wayside. So when we saw us that, so when we saw each other at Second and Charles, we decided like, yo, we need to like start hanging out again and like start working on books and stuff. So I'll probably be hanging out with Trisha a little bit more in the future, working on books once again. I also saw my friend Jake from high school at Second and Charles as well. He told me about an interesting comic book series based off of a series of albums. I don't remember the name, and I'm not a big sci fi fantasy guy. It was like a sci fi fantasy comic, but it sounded cool, even though it wouldn't necessarily be my cup of tea. Matt said, Jet, unlock Yuki. Matt apparently didn't watch the Jump Force stream I did last night, where I played as Yugi multiple times and got my ass whooped, but still played as Yugi. So I've learned that if you start doing some of the free missions give you access to like a bigger character roster. Then Matt said, "You didn't call. You told me specifically not to call you, Matt." You were like, don't call me. If you call me, you might like disrupt my sleep. Also, did I say last night? Because I might have misspoke. I did a Jump Force stream the night that you like left. Like, me, you, and Gerard were all hanging out. You dipped, and then like I was actively doing a Jump Force stream when you dipped. I went into free missions, and free missions just has like a bigger roster. You just have access to like more characters in free missions. So I have to unlock those characters through playing the game. But like in the game, I like have access to them. But I still don't have access to all of them, which is interesting. I still don't fully understand how Jump Force is distributing these characters and why it's like it, but it is. And then Matt said, which means you didn't unlock Yugi. So I haven't unlocked Yugi to where we could do like a two-player battle against each other where you're playing as Yugi, but I can play as Yugi in missions. Also, you can level up all the characters, which I didn't know. I thought you could only level up your created character. And then Matt said, "Don't lie." Well, I have access to Yugi. Feels kind of like an unlock, but then we don't have like multiplayer access to Yugi. Unlocked in one way, maybe not in another. Let's see. So, oh yeah, I was talking about running into Jake from high school at Second and Charles, and the comic book series he was talking about. So while he was talking about a sci-fi fantasy series, I'm more into like superhero stories. We also talked about video games, and we caught up with each other because it's been a long time since me and Jake have really had a chance to talk. Kel said in local play you get everybody from Jump. So in local play, when me and Matt were playing, we scrolled through the character list and it didn't have Yugi like just straight up available from like the very beginning. So it seemed like we had to unlock everybody unless we just like were looking at the character wheel and we just missed it somehow. Dragon Ball Superfan said, "My day was alright. If you could get any powers, what would it be? And did you hear about in 2020 that there will be no more coffee?" Uh, I don't drink coffee, but that's really interesting. Why will there be no more coffee in 2020? Are we like running out of coffee, like to where like there's like a deficit, or is it a thing where like it'll be illegal? Like why is it that there'll be no coffee in 2020? I don't get it. And then the powers question, Dragon Ball Superfan. We actually did that recently in a vlog where we talked about it. So my go-to power, if I could have any power, would be to be able to manifest things from my imagination. So if I imagine something, I could just like make it real. I would also want that power. I would also, with that power, want to be able to control what in my imagination became real and what didn't. And if I wanted to be able to remove things that I've like manifested into reality. So if I like imagine like a little monkey that like danced around on my desk, I could like choose to like make that monkey like disappear or whatever. And then Matt says, so you basically have all powers. I mean, that's not necessarily true. It's very limited to what I actually choose to manifest from my imagination. And then Kel said, my ability would be a JoJo stand I made that Jet will explain soon. So we recently did a thing in the live chat where we were like, hey guys, tell us like what superpower that you would want and what you would use it for. And me, John Mason, and Kels all explained what our powers would be, and we're trying to discuss how a battle royale would be between the three of us, considering our powers and why we would all fight each other. Kels has actually written his ability out. It's on the amino, and once I'm finished going over my day, I'm gonna like read over Kels' power, and we're gonna talk about it more in depth. Um, let's see. Open question to everyone who's currently in the live chat. We know Kels, and we're about to go into Kels' power in a little bit. But to everyone, um, what superpower would you want if you could have any superpower, and what would you use it for? Let's see. And then Matt said, "I imagine a ring that gives me heat vision." I mean, yeah, you could do stuff like that. Mm. I explained that what I would use my powers for, like if I could manifest whatever I wanted from my imagination, I would use it to travel to like other worlds throughout the multiverse and to create my own worlds. And then Matt said, "That's what your power is, Jet, but that's not necessarily what I would use it for." So I don't think I'd be like, "Well, time to give me like all these other superpowers." I'd be like, "Now I want to like travel to other worlds and I want to like see what they're like." And then I want to like get inspired and start like creating my own worlds from my imagination and like travel to those. I try and do stuff like that. And then Matt said, "Your power is essentially anything and everything." Excuse me. But it's still limited to like your creativity and what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? It's similar to how when Thanos in Infinity War got the Reality Stone, I was like, why didn't he just win? He can just turn people into bubbles and shit, and he like does that in the movie where he like turns people into bubbles, and I'm like, well, I don't think he turns anybody into bubbles. He turned a laser blast into bubbles, but he was able to do stuff like turn Mantis into like paper and turn Drax into like a stone statue or whatever. It essentially seemed like whatever Thanos imagined, he could just do it. He'd just be like, and now it's real. It's just reality. And I'm like, how I don't think Thanos can like lose. And I mean, he didn't lose in Infinity War, but it made it seem like it was hard for him to win. Like he had to like fight past everybody. I was like, once you got the Reality Stone, I don't think anybody's beating the shit out of you, Thanos. It's like your bubbles, your trash, like literally trash on the ground. You just turn people that you don't like into shit, and then you just win, right? I don't understand. And then Matt said, you're underutilizing your powers. He said, in other words, you're cheating. I'm cheating by underutilizing my powers, Matt. I feel like it's more of, you have powers and you have goals. And I feel like how you use your powers is dependent on what your goals are. So my goal isn't necessarily to like fight a bunch of people. It's just to travel between worlds and to make my own worlds. Then Dragon Ball Superfan said my superpower would be controlling time and space. Now that seems like a pretty good power. Uh, um, hmm. So what would you use your power for, Dragon Ball Superfan? Like, how would you use your ability to control time and space? Then Kel said, I know how I can beat Jet's ability. I think, not 100% sure. Interesting. I'm excited to hear your theory. Nani said, hey, and you said Coco is one thick bit. Coco. Who is Coco? Also, Nani, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I have three questions for you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? Matt said, but your one power is a multi package set of powers. I mean, it can be, depending on how I want to use it. Then Nani said, what if Matt's power is to dislike and not sub to anyone? Matt actually did smash that subscribe button. His goal was to become the channel's 1,000th subscriber, and he did. I like actually checked. Matt is an official subscriber. He did it. Matt said, all you have to do to beat Jet is make a mind sucking device before Jet gets wise and imagines protections to mind sucking. Me and Matt actually played a game that I made called, I don't think it's Omni Quest, but it's something along that. Maybe Omni-Kinetic something. But it was based off of a Superman comic that I read, where Superman had to face off against a guy who had a device from the future where he can create anything more or less from his imagination. And I was like, what if there's a whole game like that where you like make your own world and you can make whatever creatures or vehicles you want and give yourself like powers and abilities, blah 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 blah. I think it was called Omni-Kinetic Battle. And then me and Matt faced off against each other in that game where you essentially can have whatever power you want. And we did like a duel. Matt gooted the fuck out of me. I really like thinking about different superpowers and things of that nature, but it becomes like a counterplay game. And I really enjoyed facing off against Matt. Matt, I feel, won all the fights, if I'm not mistaken. But I still had fun doing it. I don't know. I like doing like little make believe stuff like that. Then Kel said, I can use my stand, Sugar, to upload a crap ton of information to Jet's brain to make him unable to concentrate hard enough to imagine anything. That sounds right. That sounds like it would goot me. Because if I can't concentrate, then I can't use my abilities. I've seen that happen to Green Lantern before, where in the comics, in order to incapacitate Green Lantern, they were like feeding information into his mind to like make him confused. And he's like, I can't focus on anything for like more than 2 seconds, so I can't make any constructs. Matt said he won once and then we drawed. What caused the draw? I feel like I remember that, but I don't remember the like full circumstances of it. Dragon Ball Superfan said I would use my power to make sure I'm never late, and I would use it to go back in time as well. So it sounds like you would use it to always make sure that you got to things early and to make, or maybe just right on time since you can actually time it, and to also like correct mistakes that you made by going back in time to like fix them. And then Matt said, because you have no foresight, he said I could copy all of your actions for free. So that's what caused the draw. Why is it that no one could overcome the other person? Like what caused it to be a thing where it was like a immovable object versus an unstoppable force kind of thing. Dragon Ball Superfan said also he would stop huge bad events that happened in the past, like stopping like 9/11. So one big thing that's interesting about like stopping really bad things that occurred in the past that have like dramatically changed history is that by stopping those bad things, if you don't somehow inform people to like not make those mistakes, you essentially just cause similar shit to happen. Like because bad things have happened in the past, we now have like taken measures to like stop that shit from occurring again. So as soon as you stop a bad event like that from happening, if you don't somehow make it clear to the world that like this is a problem that we need to avoid in the future, it's likely that you'll have to stop a similar event in the future, and then another one after that, and then another one after that, because awareness really helps us solve problems like that. So I feel like if I had like time-based abilities, I don't think I would go back in time to stop huge bad events unless I also had a plan to be like, and hey guys, here's what I stopped, and here's what could have happened, and we need to like make shit better. If I just went back and stopped it and then came back, I feel like I would have messed up a lot of like how time works. Matt said I had a copy that caused no energy expense to myself. Uh, that I still don't understand how that ended up in a draw. Then Kel said, "Be careful when going back in time, or else you might make a paradox." So my perception of time travel is really interesting, because I feel like the way that time travel works is that you exist in like one continuously flowing forward timeline, and I don't think you can really have a paradox because every moment that's like the current moment is your present, and every moment that was before that is the past, and every moment after is the future. So even when you take a time machine and go back in time and let's say like kill your mom or kill your dad, I don't think you're gonna like be erased because you've already been born. You know, like you're still already alive in the timeline. And then I think when you jump back in the future from that point, it's still like you're present, like you're still like there. They use logic like this to explain how the Reverse Flash can just still exist in the DC universe, even though he keeps dying. It's like a regular thing where he just like eats shit and dies. It's like I can't really be gotten rid of because I already like exist, and I exist in multiple places in time. It's kind of weird, but I don't feel like paradoxes are like a real thing. Uh, I just feel like if you can travel through time in that way, that you just kind of can just keep living. It's weird. But Matt said, "You are bad at thinking through problems." And he said, "What do you want me to tell you? I don't remember what caused a draw. Like, if you could copy all my abilities for free, couldn't you, like, overcome me? Like, why is it that you weren't able to overcome me? And, like, take control over, like, the fight?" Then Nani said the real question is, where's Winslow? Winslow's currently chilling with this girl. It's her last day up here before she has to like go back to where she lives. So they're having some quality time. But I hung out with them for most of the day until like a few hours ago when we got back from Three Scoops. But that's spoilers. I haven't gotten that far in my day yet. The last thing I was talking about in my day was Second and Charles. But before I get back to that, Matt said, "If I had a bit more time, I could have won via a one-up mushroom, giving me an extra life when we died at the same time." Oh, so we had like a time limit? Like, is that what happened? And did we end up like killing each other before the time limit, or just not killing either one? Then Kel said, "Well, think about time travel." Well, no, he said, "Well, the thing about time travel, depending on how it works, you would just make a new timeline instead of changing your own, like in Dragon Ball Z." And then Matt said, "Multiverse theory." So I feel really weird about the whole split timeline thing because I don't believe in that either. I really hate the concept of time travel being like a split and like making other timelines. I just kind of think that's stupid. I feel like if you go back in time and you like do shit, that's still like your present, and it's the way that that works is hard to describe in words, but because of that, you're still always affecting time the same way that you always affect time. Then Louis said, "Hi, remember me?" "Yo, Louis, I do remember you. I have three questions for you. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any questions for your boy? And question number three, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on stream?" Matt said, I had to do what you did. He said, no, you use energy to make a gun, and we shot ourselves. Oh, interesting. Then Louis just put like grim emojis. So me and Matt are having a flashback talking about a game that I made up and we played. Then Matt said, or the multiverse is just easier to understand and doesn't have complications. Well, for one, I don't like using the term multiverse for split timelines. I had like a whole discussion about this with a group of friends once. But split timelines and alternate universes aren't like the same thing, just from like a conceptual standpoint. Um, and that's interesting to describe. But I feel like the multiverse has like its own reason for like how and why it exists, and alternate timelines are just like a completely like different thing because it seems weird to consider them the same thing. We had like a whole thought experiment that we went over when I originally discussed this with a group of friends, but that was like years ago. So I'm kind of trying to mentally dial back to like find it. Louis said, my day is going good. Also, how's your day going? That's all. My day is fantastic as always. Thank you for asking. I was actually going over in my day the part where I was talking to my friend Jake from high school. I ran into him at Second and Charles. So I caught up with Jake, learned more about what he's been up to since high school. It sounds like Jake is doing well. He's working toward achieving his goals, which is always great to hear. Jake actually smashed that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. He also subscribed to Aidan's YouTube channel, Empire of Eternia, and got to meet Aidan and Hannah, which I thought was pretty cool. Let's see. Kels said timelines and universes aren't the same thing. Thank you, Kels. I totally agree. I feel like timelines and universes are distinctly different things. A matter of fact, to give a fictional example, we can look at like Dragon Ball Super. In Dragon Ball Super, they have like a set number of alternate universes, and they're like distinctly different universes. And then they have a whole series of timelines. You travel to alternate universes using like this special like cube vehicle thing that takes you physically from your universe to like another universe, and then you travel to alternate timelines by like using like Bulma's time machine or using like a god time ring. You know, universes and timelines are like distinctly different things, and the way that they exist and the method of which you use to travel between them are just totally different things. And timelines and alternate universes can be similar. Like, there can be an alternate universe where you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of eating like a ham and cheese sandwich, but there also can be an alternate timeline where you went back in time and you made sure that you ate a peanut butter jelly sandwich instead of a ham and cheese sandwich. And while those two timelines are pretty much not two timelines, even though the timeline and the alternate universe are like identical, they're not like the same thing. It's not like they are the same world. They are like distinctly different things that exist independently of each other. So that's my big thing. And then Kel said you can have multiple timelines within a universe. Agreed. Like, they are just entirely separate concepts. But I had like a big debate about that. I was in a room with like five or six other people, and they were all like, no, they just are the same thing. And I think the argument was you can use a time machine to travel to like an alternate universe. And I was like, no. It's like you would just be going to like another timeline. And they're like, that's the same thing. And I'm like, no. That just doesn't, those concepts don't like click. They're like definitionally different. Even if they can be like really similar. Like, they're still different things. It's weird. I think their argument was talking about the many worlds interpretation of the multiverse, and the idea is that every time you make a choice, it like branches off and creates like its own universe or whatever, where you made like the other choice or the other choices you could have made. So they were like, if that's the case, then there's no difference between going back in time and making a different choice, which would then cause it to be like a different universe, and going back in time and making a different choice and being in a different timeline. And I'm like, no, no, that's actually different. It's like, I understand what you're trying to say, but they're just mechanically different things. Let's see. So Thanos says, "Greetings, tiny human." Yo, Thanos, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Thanos, I have three questions for you. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any questions for your boy? And question number three, do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on stream? Right now, I'm talking about my day, and in the live chat, we're talking about the difference between timelines and universes. So at Second and Charles, I met a fellow UAH student who's into anime, and he also lives in the same dorm and has seen me around campus, but I've never actually like met him before. He gave me his phone number, and I gave him my YouTube channel, and it seems like we might hang out, play fighting games, and watch anime in the future. He's really into Hunter x Hunter. We've texted a bit and talked about different like anime that we like and different fighting games that we enjoy. Apparently, he's really into Hunter x Hunter, and one of his favorite like anime fighters is like Xenoverse. So he'll probably come by and we'll play some Xenoverse 2 sometimes. I also want to see if he enjoys Fighter Z and if he's played it before. But he seems pretty cool. I think the last thing I texted him was um, whether or not he enjoyed tabletop RPGs and wrote stories. And I think he sent me like a picture, but my phone in the notifications doesn't show me the picture. It just says no subject. But I took a shower, so I've like missed his latest message. After the stream, I'll probably check that out, see what it was that he was talking about. So after Second and Charles, Hannah and I went to Three Scoops, which is a local ice cream parlor. Apparently, the ice cream parlors around town are shutting down. So Three Scoops, when we went in, seemed pretty busy. It's also like a Saturday, so Saturdays would be busy for an ice cream place, anyways. But I'm curious how they're doing, considering like the influx on the like new business. Thanos says, "My day is good because I stabbed Iron Man. What kind of videos do you make?" And then he said, "It's Louis sent me." And then he did a face. It's Louis. Thank you for bringing over Thanos. Truly appreciate it. So, also, glad to hear you're having a good day. Sorry to hear about Iron Man taking that L. He's been taking L's for a series of movies now. What kind of videos do I make? I'll make sure to fill you in. So when it comes to the different videos that I make, I do fan poll videos and I do vlogs. I also do like D&D videos and just freestyle videos. So I'm going to go over what each type of video is like. First, I'm going to go over fan polls. So Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m., I reveal the results to a fan poll where you guys get to vote for the type of content that you want to see on the channel. So essentially, after a vlog video, I'll be like, "Hey guys, it's time to set up the fan poll." Depending on what day it is. Like I said, we only do fan polls Monday through Thursday. But I do a video where I'm like, "Hey guys, time to set up the fan poll. Vote in the comment section below for what you would like to watch next on the channel." And then people vote in the comment sections, and then whatever gets the most votes at 1 p.m., we then do on the channel. Now, I don't do anything inappropriate, and I don't do anything that I like actually can't do. So there are like some limits to what can actually win a fan poll, but it gives you guys the ability to control the type of content that's on the channel. So if you want to see me play a particular game, react to a particular video, talk about a particular subject, you can just vote for like what you want to see, and then if it gets enough votes, you essentially get to control the action. I really like that. And then Thanos says your channel reminds me of a reaction channel. To be honest, kind of, sorta. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and I do reaction videos on occasion that are just straight up reaction videos. I also do vlog content. So I do. Nani said, "Confront Ebs." What is Ebs? Let's see. So I also do vlog videos. So this is an example of a vlog video. Pretty much what I do is every day after midnight, I just talk about my day. I just go over all the events of my day while talking with you guys in the live chat, letting you guys bring up discussion topics and questions, and just having a conversation. And then Nani said, "No, EBZ. What is EBZ?" I just don't know what that is. Let's see. So fan polls, vlogs, D&D. So now we have regularly scheduled D&D content that we do. So every Thursday, Matt is running a D&D campaign, and we live stream the D&D campaign. So if you guys like watching D&D content, we have Matt's campaign called the Gronvelian War. That's every Thursday. And then on Fridays, we have Colin's campaign, Fool's Kingdom, and those are like hours and hours long of like D&D. So those are like the two like D&D streams we do. I think that's only three things. So I've talked about fan poll videos, vlog videos, and D&D. So then we have freestyle videos. So sometimes I just decide I want to do something and I just post it onto the channel. And that could literally just be whatever I want. Those videos aren't like regularly scheduled. That's just me going, I think this would be cool, and then filming it and then putting it on the channel. So yeah, that's all the different content that we have on our channel. Feel free to check it out and to vote for what you want. And then Nani said, it's a skunk. I have no idea what EBZ is. Then Batman said, Barbar, oh hello. And then he said, Barbara. Yo, Batman, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I have 3 questions for you, Batman. Question number 1, how's your day today? Question number 2, do you have any questions for your boy? And question number 3, do you have any discussion topics that you want to talk about today on the stream? Right now, I'm talking about my day, and I just finished talking to Thanos about what is the type of content that we do on the channel. Kel said, so you can't ask for like a porno or for him to like murder someone. I mean, he'd get more subs if he did those things, but I guess it's fine. Yep, that's exactly right. That is the kind of stuff that you can't vote for. I mean, you can vote for it, but it wouldn't win. You know, it'd be that kind of thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I was talking about Three Scoops, which is a local ice cream parlor that Aidan and Hannah and I went to. So Three Scoops is pretty expensive. To get like a large milkshake, it's like $6.50. I normally buy 2 of those, so it's normally like $13 even. And they charge a lot for like whipped cream and cherry. I think it's like 50 cents. So I just never get the whipped cream and cherry. But they're now one of the only ice cream parlors in town, and they were really busy tonight. Yo, Ryan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Ryan, I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1, how's your day today? Question number 2, do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on today's stream? And question number 3, do you have any questions for your boy? Batman said, it's okay. What do you think about the Child's Play movie? I want to make a reaction video to the trailer. So I still haven't seen the new trailer for the Child's Play movie. I just haven't delegated like enough time to like sitting down, watching it, recording a reaction video, editing it, and putting it on the channel. But I do plan to. I am hype. The last Chucky movie that I watched was one of the more recent ones, and I really digged it. It was like an interesting, like psychological thing about a girl in an asylum, and you can't tell if she's crazy or if like she actually has had a run-in with Chucky. I like that as a concept. I thought that was like really dope, and I am excited to see what they're gonna do with Child's Play later. Kel said, "Are you gonna do a fan poll on Monday?" Most def. As long as there's nothing like weird to throw off my schedule, I always do fan polls Monday through Thursday. And when I don't have time to do fan polls, I normally do a video ahead of time that's like, hey guys, for whatever reason, there's like a delay and I like can't do the fan poll. Or if there's like a vlog delay, I'll like post something on YouTube because I now can do like text post to YouTube. So whenever there's a vlog delay, I'll send like a post that's like, hey, the vlog might be a little late. Like last night's vlog was like super late. Booty Slapper 65 said, hello there, fellow YouTuber. Yo, Booty, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Yo, Booty, I have 3 questions for you. Question number 1, how's your day today? Question number 2, do you have any questions for your boy? And question number 3, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? Ryan said, today was my sister's birthday, so there was cake. Happy birthday to your sister, Ryan. I hope that she had a wonderful birthday. What kind of cake was it? I know for my birthday, my grandma always likes to try and make like a funfetti cake. Uh, so I dig the chocolate funfetti. I was talking about my day and going to Three Scoops. So it was Hannah's first time going to Three Scoops, which is like a local ice cream parlor. She taught me that you can ask to get a thick shake, which I didn't know you could do. Three Scoop shakes are nice because they mix in a bunch of unique ice cream flavors that I can't get at places like Cookout. So I get like a more expensive shake, but it has like a lot of different flavor going on with it. Um, but it's always a little watery. Five Guys, I think, is the worst offender when it comes to watery shakes, but it is true that Three Scoop shakes aren't that thick. But I didn't know that you can just ask to get them thicker and it doesn't change the price. And they put more ice cream in it. I was like, what? So I'm going to have to start doing that. Props to Hannah for teaching me the strat. Booty said, it's awesome. How's your day going? And then he said, it's Louie sent me. Yo, it's Louie. Thank you for bringing all these people over to the channel. Truly appreciate it. My day is fantastic as always. Thank you for asking. Right now I'm talking about hanging out with Aidan and Hannah and going on adventures throughout the day. I originally was supposed to go on a date with Danica, but Danica was having car trouble, so we weren't able to hang out. So I hung out with Aidan and Hannah instead, and we went on a bunch of different adventures. Rachel Rose 22 said, "Hi," jumps in the air like anime. Yo, Rachel, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I have three questions for you. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any discussion topics that you want to talk about on the stream? And question number three, do you have any questions for your boy? Right now, I'm just talking about my day. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, while hanging out with Aiden and Hannah, I feel like everyone had like a fun time, but I can never tell if I'm like a third wheel or not. Considering the fact that like Hannah normally is like out of town and she came up specifically to like spend time with Aiden, and I never know if I'm like there and it's like awkward and they want to do like couple stuff or not. So I may just have to ask Aiden about it because I don't want to be a third wheel. I don't necessarily feel like I am, but I don't know if I was or not. Let's see. Ryan said, "Yes, you are." Obviously. He's like, "You are obviously a third wheel." Kel said, "After you finish your day, can you check out my stand?" He said, "I just want to know your opinion on it and to answer any questions about it." Ballin, yes. Even if going over my day somehow goes past an hour, which I don't think it will, I definitely will jump on the amino regardless and go over your power description and ask you any questions that you might have about it. So let's see. Rachel said, "It's going okay." He said, "What do you do off stream?" And then he said, "Today, almost got hit by a got hit by a skidoo." And he said, "Also, it's Louie sent me too." Oh, thank you, it's Louie, for bringing everybody over. Truly appreciate it. So, what do I do off stream is actually a really interesting question. I videotape like a good portion of my life, and whatever I don't videotape, I then talk about on vlogs. So, I don't know because I feel like there's not an aspect of my life that I don't end up talking about on stream. So even if you guys don't like see me do it in these vlog videos, I still like go over it. I even like talk about like my dreams. Like if I have a dream, I mention it like in the vlog. And then if I think of like a crazy idea while I'm like walking to class or like in like the shower or something, I'll mention that like on the stream. So I don't know. I kind of publish my whole life. It's just kind of out there. Um, that the only things that you don't see on like stream are just like the things I end up describing in vlog videos without like filming. But you guys still get the information anyways. So that was actually a really interesting question. Also, what is a skidoo and how did you almost get hit by one? Then Ryan said, "I've seen the first three episodes of Dragon Prince." He says, "I've also watched the first few episodes of Naruto and was in the middle of the bell test." So what's motivated you to go back to watching like the beginning of Naruto stuff? And what's Dragon Prince? I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that show. Squirrel Girl 59 said, "Howdy, feller. Yo, I'm actually legitimately interested in reading Squirrel Girl comics. I learned recently that Marvel says that she has a 7 in every stat. In case you're not aware, Marvel's power grid only goes up to 7. So for her to have a 7 in every stat, she's essentially like a god level character. I knew that she was the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, but I didn't know it was like canon to her stats that she's like that good. So I'm interested in possibly checking her out. I've been really interested in Gwenpool as of like yesterday, and I feel like I'm probably gonna read all of Gwenpool soon. But enough geeking out. Yo, Squirrel Girl, how's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on stream? Then Dragon Ball Superfan said Dragon Quest. So is Dragon Prince um, like a Dragon Quest anime? I can't tell if you were saying that in reaction to what Ryan was saying or if you were just saying Dragon Quest. Squirrel Girl said, "My day's going good. I don't have a question. I'm going on a date later with my crush." Yo, congrats for going on the date. I think that'll be pretty fun. I hope you have a wonderful time. Let's see. So I was talking about, oh yeah, whether or not I'm third wheeling on Hannah and Aiden's dates. I hope not. Um, let's see. Ryan said Dragon Prince is a Netflix CGI cartoon from one of the writers of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, is it good? I guess that would be my next question. Also, now that you bring that up, maybe I have seen a little bit of that. I think I was in Aiden's room like a few months ago, and his roommate Jonathan was watching it. Um, I guess I can't ask too many questions because I might spoil something that you haven't seen yet. Um, but I might know what you're talking about now that you bring that up. Booty Slapper said, I got a question. Have you ever seen It's Louie's channel? I have not seen It's Louie's channel. What kind of content does It's Louie do? I've seen It's Louie jump into the live chat, but I've never actually like gone to his channel and like seen what his content's about. Ryan said, I was wasting time with my sister yesterday and we watched Naruto the movie, Ninja Clash in the Land of Snow. I'm not sure if I've seen that one, or if I have seen it, it's been like a long time. I feel like I have memories from it, but if I did see it, I don't think I finished it. Rachel Rose said, have you seen the Avengers Endgame trailer? I heard there's a new one that's like from the Super Bowl, but I have not actually gotten a chance to watch the Super Bowl trailer. How long is it? Because if it's not like super short, I could see myself doing a reaction video to it. And then Ryan said it's the first Naruto movie. Ah, I see. So is it still when Naruto's like a little kid, like before like Shippuden era? Um, but I haven't seen the new Super Bowl one. He says, "Oh, Rachel Rose says it's about 30 seconds. Is it worth doing a reaction video to? Like, do you think I'd be able to have like a solid discussion about it?" And then Ryan said the only one with Sasuke still in the squad. Oh, so it's the only Naruto movie that still has Sasuke in it. That's interesting. Then Rachel Rose said, what about Hellboy? So I also haven't done a reaction video to the Hellboy trailer yet. My friend Ryan is really into Hellboy, and I feel like it would be cooler if me and Ryan did a reaction video together because I feel like he would have more of a reaction. He really liked the older Hellboy movies, and I watched them, and I was like, they're okay. So I feel like Ryan would have cooler reactions and more things to talk about in the video than I would. And I feel like that would help make the video better if we did like a group thing. Kel said the Snow movie is the one with the rainbow Rasengan. There's a rainbow Rasengan? That sounds like an interesting concept. Um, are the movies canon, by the way? Ryan said the other couple of Naruto movies are after Sasuke leaves, and then like six Shippuden movies. That's understandable. Then Arthur, bleh, then Arthur Morgan said, howdy, partner. Yo, Arthur Morgan, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I have three questions for you. Question number one, how's your day today? Question number two, do you have any questions for your boy? And question number three, do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? Let's see. So after hanging out with, I'm currently talking about my day, by the way, to make it, to continue through my day real quick. Because I know that Kells wants to show something on the amino, so I want to talk about the Kells thing, but I gotta get through my day first. Then Kells said the only canon movie is the last one. Oh, interesting. So the rest are just like side stories that never happen? That's interesting to know. So when I got back to the dorm, I took a long nap and I watched a comic historian video on Gwenpool going over her entire comic run. And even though I already know everything that happens because I read the Marvel.com article, it's still really interesting so far. And I feel like even once I finish the comic historian video, I'll probably still go back and read those Gwenpool comics. I exercised and showered. Sorry. I exercised while watching the comic historian video, and then I showered not while watching it. I noticed in my notes I said I exercised and showered, excuse me, while watching the video. I didn't do both while watching the video. In the shower, I started thinking about what my character would be like in the RPG that I'm making, because I'm working on writing a tabletop RPG. I've actually written a lot in the past, but now I'm trying to write one that doesn't involve any dice rolls, and it's based more on semantics and definitions and creativity. So I'm trying to make a very simple tabletop RPG that you can easily jump into that still has like a nice amount of like story depth and has rules that are directly supported by the world that the game takes place in. To where if you understand the story, you can understand how the game plays and vice versa. So while I was in the shower, I was thinking to myself, if I was to make my own character in this RPG, what would it be like? And I got myself like really pumped. I was like, wow, I feel like my character would do this and they have this power and they'd be trying to like achieve this goal and this is how they meet like this monster hunter mentor guy and this is how they meet like this bestiary librarian. And I was like, I think I might like write a superhero story just about like this character concept and then maybe that'll give me more ideas for the RPG. And my imagination just kind of went crazy. So I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of writing this weekend. Let's just say that. So Arthur Morgan said, it's okay. Been gunslinger all day. Arthur Morgan is a familiar name. Is that from like a particular like movie or game? Then Ryan said anime movies of these variety are not canon. The only canon one is Naruto the movie The Last. And then he said, as Boruto anime greater than Boruto movie. I've heard that. I've heard the Boruto anime goes over the movie actions a lot better than the movie itself. And then Ryan said the Naruto movies can still be interesting. He said, I like Shippuden movie 4 and 6. So what about 4 and 6 like really appeal to you? Also, after I got out of the shower and finished geeking out about RPG ideas, I then freshened up a bit and then started up this live stream, which means I finally finished going over my day and I can finally jump on that amino and look at the power that Kells came up with. So Kells has come up with a superpower called Sugar, and it's supposed to be like a stand similar to like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And we have this discussion going on the channel where we're talking about if you could have any superpower, what would it be and what would you use it for? And then we're trying to think of a story idea where all of us would like have a reason to fight each other and then see who would win in the fight. So I actually have already read Kel's stand. I just haven't read it on the stream yet. So I'm gonna go over on the stream and then see if I have any questions for Kel's based off of the power. So the name of Kel's power is Sugar. The namesake comes from the song Sugar by Maroon 5. So stands in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure are all named after like songs or like musical artists, which is why your boy Kells has named his power after a Maroon 5 song. And then stands kind of manifest themselves as like these weird boxing ghosts or whatever. So now he describes the appearance of the ghost. Rather than reading over his appearance description, Kells actually provided like a picture of what the stand looks like and posted it to the amino. So I'm just gonna like show you like the art. So this is what Sugar looks like. It's more or less two floating robot characters, and these are manifested whenever he activates his power. So now I'm going to read over what his power actually does. So let's see. His power has like three different sub abilities built into it. Ryan said in all three of the Naruto movies. So Ryan's favorite Naruto films are all three of the like original series Naruto movies, and then Naruto Shippuden movie 4 and 6. Also, sorry about that whistle. I feel like I keep puckering my lips as I talk, and it's causing it to like slip air in between my teeth. And then he says, and he also likes the last movie. Okay, ballin'. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water real quick. Probably need to take off the top. There we go. And then Ryan said, I think Shippuden 3 is the weakest one. Why is that? What makes it so weak? Let's see. And then he said Shippuden 1 is weird. What makes that one so weird? So the first ability of Kel's stand is called data transfer. So this ability allows the user to send out information to other living things and receive information back. So it kind of reminds me of telepathy right now. He said, but he can only receive information back if the other person is, a stand user. I see. So based on what everyone else's powers are that have been described, he wouldn't be able to receive information back from any of us. So far, Dragon Ball Superfan, John Mason, myself, and Kells have all described what our powers would be and what we'd use them for. Ryan said the second Shippuden movie has evil Sasuke. That's interesting. Then It's Louie said, I'm back. Yo, welcome back, It's Louie. Good to have you. Ryan said Naruto does is Shippuden 1. I don't understand what that sentence means, Ryan. It's Louie said, also, I forgot to ask the last stream. Have you seen my channel yet / before? I have not seen your channel before, It's Louie. What kind of content do you do? Kel said, someone please make an hour-long compilation of Jet drinking water. Is there enough, like, footage to do, like, an hour-long compilation? I've I've consumed water before on the stream, but I'm not sure if I've done it enough to get, like, a full hour worth of content. I feel like you'd have to show, like, clips from the past. Let's see. Like, again, like, loop, like, the same clips. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, so I'm still on the data transferability of Kel's stand. So the user can also send information through digital devices even if there's no Wi Fi. This ability gives the user one power. This data transfer also allows the user to basically read others' minds. Think of it as logging into someone else's account on Instagram and reading all their DMs. But he can only read their minds if they're in range, and if the target is aware enough, they can know if their mind is being read. So, aware enough is in like they're aware of the power, like they're aware that the other person has the power. And you said in range, but what is the range of the power? Like how far out does it reach? Um, let's see. And then he said the last part of this ability is that it can send any type of information. So the user can send things like videos, to even images of optical illusions to confuse the enemy. I really like the concept of it sending optical illusions. Can it send sensory information? Can you make someone like feel cold, or make someone feel, whoa, I was trying to like describe the feeling of being off balance. Can you like give people like vertigo effects and like stuff like that? Because if you could send sensory information, you could more or less fully genjutsu someone by like giving them not only optical illusions, but like they almost as if just sense like another world that you imagine. You could straight up just make someone feel displaced from reality, if you can like affect all their senses. Ryan said Naruto dies in the Naruto Shippuden the movie. Which one? Then Louis says his channel is gaming reaction, funny gameplays. He says it's all he does on his channel. Oh, that's really cool. What kind of games do you play? And then Ryan said particle style is hella strong. So what all can you do in particle style? I'm not fully familiar with a lot of the lore in Naruto. It's Louis said also walkthroughs, I forgot to say, and some tutorials. Yeah. Do you play any fighting games on your channel? It's Louis. I'm really into fighting games. That's most of the games that I have. But my favorite game right now to play is Lego Worlds. I'm a big fan of Lego Worlds. Ryan said Naruto dies in the first Shippuden movie. Does he like come back to life? Then Kel said, I guess the stand can do that. Yeah, I feel like that's a really powerful ability, because if you can use data transfer to just mess with somebody else's senses, you can make someone just think they won. Like, send information that makes them more or less feel like they're in like another reality, and then like that's it. It's just like a hard like boom, gotcha. Let's see. So that's weird. I went back to the first line of data transfer, and it says this ability allows the user to send out information to other living things and receive information back, but he can only receive information, back if the other person is a stand user. So right now you can't read my mind, John Mason's mind, or Dragon Ball Superfan's mind, because all of our powers aren't stand based, but you can send whatever information you want. You can just send information like crazy. Um, when I was doing this hand movement, it reminded me of Eric Andre's show sketch where Hannibal Buress is reenacting a fatality where you throw apples at someone until they die, and he goes four, 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 four. Let's see. It's Louis said he plays horror, simulation, action, adventure, all kinds of games to be honest. And then It's Louis said me sitting down enjoying the stream. Hey, so that's pretty cool. I'm not super into horror games. What simulation games do you play? When it comes to horror games, it kind of depends. I like seeing horror games that have rules, where you walk around like a building, and there are different characters where, as long as you interact with the characters in a certain way, they won't mess with you. I like watching Dashi play games like that, and I like seeing Dashi learn the rules over time and run into multiple characters at the same time and have to try and satisfy the rules for both to like not die. I think that's interesting. What simulation style games do you play? I do like the concept of a lot of simulation games, but not a lot have like truly captured my imagination. Like I think Spore's really cool, and The Sims are really cool, but I don't own like a Sims game for the PS4 or anything like that. Like it hasn't caught me enough where I'm like, oh, I like have to buy one. And then for action games, what kind of action games and what kind of adventure games? When it comes to action games, I definitely enjoy like fighting games the most. And when it comes to adventure games, Lego Worlds is just what No Man's Sky should have been. I really love Lego Worlds. Ryan said particle style has atomic dismantling jutsu. Can particle style also like make things? Because you mentioned like dismantling, so I imagine he could break down the atoms of this bottle and then like disperse them. But could he like take atoms and like make a bottle if he wanted to? Like, what are the limitations on him creating things with it out of atoms in the environment? Then Kel said about the awareness in reference to his power sugar. He said, "You have to know my ability and you have to be focusing on me. But if you have observation Hakai from One Piece, for example, you could just tell. What is observation Hakai, which I guess translates to observation destruction? Like, I've never watched One Piece. I'm waiting for them to drop the live action One Piece show. They claim they want to make a live action One Piece series that's true to the manga, and I want to start One Piece by watching it from the live action series and seeing how that goes. Ryan said the particle style jutsu, it shoots out an expanding shape, usually a cube, and anything caught inside the boundary is atomically dismantled. I feel like I've seen that before in like one of the games. There's like characters who like do stuff like that. I'm still curious, Ryan. Can people use that to like take atoms and put them together into stuff? And then he said, no, it's pronounced Hakie. So it's not Hakai. Okay, my bad. I was thinking it was Hakai like Dragon Ball Super, but I now notice that it's not Hakai, but it's Haki. Uh, because Hakai I think might have like an A in it, and that one doesn't. So let me see. Yeah, Hakai is like Hakai, and then what you said was Haki, a mysterious power that is found in every living being in the world. What? I haven't seen One Piece yet, but I guess I now understand what like the key equivalent is in One Piece. I notice they like to make different names for different things because it's like Nin in Hunter x Hunter, Key in Dragon Ball. In the Avatar video games, they call it Chi. In Naruto is chakra, but chakra is like also just like another term that's used, as well as chi being another term that's used just in like real life martial arts. Um, and now we have haki, and then you have Hammond energy and like JoJo. Yeah, it's just interesting to see all these different names. And then Kells said, observation haki basically gives you the power to be constantly aware of your surroundings. Oh, interesting, interesting. Matt said, "How was D&D? Are you asking about Colin's campaign? Like, how did I feel about what happened in the Fool's Kingdom session? Or are you asking about in your campaign for Grunvellian War? Because now there are just multiple things that you could be talking about." And then Matt said, "Yes." No, Matt. Which one? You gotta ask about one at a time. uh, the next power that Kel's stand has is device transform. So this ability allows the user to transform one or both of the bodies of the stand into electronical devices. I don't know why I said electronical. Electrical devices. Both bodies have their own batteries of sort and can be recharged by going near an outlet or stealing the power from nearby devices. The stand can turn into any electrical device as long as one, it is physically possible for it to be actually made, and two, the user must have a basic understanding of how it would function. This ability can be used to make things from tasers to cell phones, but only a very basic phone unless the user has a better understanding of how phones work. If the stand transforms into a computer, for example, and gets a virus somehow, the stand will just return to the user. So it sounds like the stand can turn into a device, and if anything happens to the device, it can just come to the user and like fix itself. Um, and then it sounds like in order to keep themselves powered, the stands can just steal electricity from other things. That's cool. Um, how much knowledge do you need to know about devices in order for you to just make them? Because you mentioned that if the user was to make a phone, it would have to be like a simple phone unless they like understood a lot about phones. But what do you mean by a simple phone? Is a simple phone still like a phone that you can use to not only call people but also text people and like use apps? Like I guess I don't fully understand the limits on it. Like if you were to read a Wikipedia page about whatever device you wanted to make, is knowing that knowledge enough for you to be like, I think I understand it and to just like make it? Or do you need to like go to college and like really understand like electrical engineering to make like a supercomputer? Or if you just have like a base knowledge of what a supercomputer is, could you just be like, and my stand is now a supercomputer? So Matt wants to know how both D&D campaigns were. So for the Gronvelian War campaign that Matt did, I think I already told Matt. I think I told Matt like the day we played it. I enjoyed it. I like the fact that it was a heavy focus on like role play because I don't think we didn't even fight anybody. I like just being a character in like a fictional world, trying to achieve a goal, and then working towards that goal, not necessarily through combat, but just by interacting with and talking to characters. That's like a big thing for me. I like going to different places in the world and meeting new people and interacting with them. So I did enjoy that for the Gronvelian War campaign. I really digged it. Then for the Colin campaign, I enjoyed it. Um, Combat's always weird. I feel like D&D combat is like the least interesting part. Um, but I enjoyed making myself involved even when I wasn't. Like if my character wasn't directly involved with what was going on, still just like talking with you guys, um, like about the game, but outside of game, still made it like enjoyable and made it a thing where like I'm still involved even if my character is not. I feel like it was an interesting role playing setup because my favorite part of the campaign with Colin was meeting like the father of all crows and like becoming friends with him. And my least favorite part was actually a role play based thing. I really don't like how my character took Bai's death. Bai was an interesting character that my character had like an extended time with, and I got to like talk with Bai, and I enjoyed the way that like Bai did things without necessarily like getting her hands dirty. She would like sneak in and try and do stuff without necessarily getting in fights, and I thought that was cool and efficient. And when Bai died, my character, just the way they are, is more curious about like the limitations of magic and creating a god. And all my character cared about was Bai had money, and I can use that money to further my like adventure to building a god. And I like steal money from Bai. I don't even consider Bai's like last words, like final wishes, is even like mattering. My character's like, I'm trying to build a god. I don't care about the crown. My character's never cared about the crown, so my character just kind of fucks off. But it just shows how cold my character is. They like have an objective that they want to like fulfill, and if you're not a part of that objective, you know, she didn't. My character didn't like shit on Bai or anything, but it just seemed so like cold, and I feel like I learned something about my character through that experience, like role playing it. I know that sounds weird because you're like, if you wanted your character to have like a more emotional response to Bai's death, you could just role play it. But it's me as the character realizing that like I don't care. But as a player, I care. You know what I mean? There's like a solid distinction between the two. And I thought that was interesting. So let me see. Then Kel said, hockey isn't really like Ki or Nin. It's more like a technique rather than a power system. Interesting. So rather than it being like an energy, like you don't meditate and build haki, it's more like just having a superpower. Like haki is closer to doing a kamehameha rather than it is the energy and ki required in order to project a kamehameha. So that's cool. I think I understand where you're coming from. They're like just their word for powers, not their word for like the energy of which powers come from. Ryan said the upper limits of the particle dismantling jutsu remain unknown, as the conical shape, said to be vastly more powerful, was never fired. It ranks among the most powerful jutsu and can be incredibly destructive. But can it be used to be creative, to like make stuff? Because that's what I would want to see. Like, if it's possible to interact with things on like an atomic scale and like dismantle them like atom by atom, is it possible to build things atom by atom? And does anyone ever do that? Because like that's what I would want to know. And if I was like in the ninja world, now that they have like ninja science tools and stuff in Boruto, I'd be like trying to like analyze that and figure out how to use that to like make things. Matt said you guys never. He said you guys don't ever go into detail. I don't understand why you use "don't ever" instead of "never." Two words for the price of one, but weird flex. Okay. Um, but Matt, we do go into detail in Max's car. That's like a big thing now. So whenever we finish a D&D campaign at Collins, when Max drives me and Gerard back to the dorm, we do like a whole, hey guys, like we don't stream, but I always start it out like we're doing a stream. I'm like, hey guys, I'm here with, and then Max is like Max, and then Gerard's like Bang Zell. And today we're having like D&D after hours, and we go into detail on our thoughts. What was our favorite part? What was our least favorite part? You're just normally not there for that because we normally save that for when we like get in the car. Let's see. Kel said buy a simple phone. It's just a phone that can only let you like call and text people. He said if you want apps or the internet, you would have to know like where the internet is and how to access it. Where the internet is. That's just an interesting like concept. So I would need a way to know like where there's a Wi-Fi signal. Like, is that what you mean? And then Matt said, "Fights are inevitable. You are an assassin and mercenary." Agreed. I'm playing like a little bit more outside of my comfort zone with this particular character for Gronvelian War. I'm just saying the stuff that I do like is what we've done so far, like talking and interacting with characters and like going to different locations like around the world. I like it whenever we go somewhere in D&D and someone like describes the surroundings, like where are the people in the room, what is the architecture like, what is the name of this place, where is this place in reference to other locations, who is this person, what is this person capable of, what do they like to do, da na 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 na. I like learning all those lore bits and then seeing my character react to that. Like, oh, my character thinks this establishment looks cool. Or, oh, my establishment, my character thinks that this establishment looks kind of shady or that it might be interesting. And, oh, my character, in reaction to, like, those characters' thoughts, like, agrees with their way of thinking or doesn't agree. Or my character doesn't have an opinion, but maybe they now feel just more informed and now they can act on or not act on that information in the future. Shit like that. And then later on, if I ever feel like my character's like trying to solve a problem, I'll be like, wait, didn't I meet someone who like said something about that one time? Or maybe if I go and talk to like Bob at the bakery, then I can like do dun 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 dun, stuff like that. I think is cool. I like playing games in that way and like role playing games in that way. Let's see. Kel said, "You honestly don't need to know that much. Just skimming a Wikipedia article is fine." Whoa! Your stand can make all kinds of shit. You don't even have to read the wiki. You can just skim the Wikipedia article. Device transform is pretty good. Not gonna lie. You can just have supercomputers and shit like that if you just want it. I guess you would have to A, know that the technology exists, and B, Google it. And then it's like, cool, I can now just make that with my stand. Matt said, but Jet, if a character gets close to another character, then it would have more nuance in how you are pursuing the goals. To blatantly ignore everything without considering the situation, you aren't being as realistic as you should be, even with an obsession. But I'm not in that car. I understand what you mean. Like, you're not there for, like, the big Max, Gerard, and, like, me discussion thing. Understood. I'm making it clear. Matt said, we can talk in my apartment if Max isn't pressed for time. True. We should definitely bring that up to Max in the future. And then Kel said, sorry, I meant what the internet is. Okay, cool. When you said where the internet is, I was like, you just need to know like where the signal's at? The fuck? I was like, I could figure out where the signal is. There are like signs on places. McDonald's, free Wi-Fi. Um, oh, so Matt was talking about how my character could or could not have felt for Bai's death. I feel like my character didn't get like super duper attached. Right now, my character sees everyone as like a business partner. Even though my character in Bai had like a good amount of interaction, I feel like even though me and Matt's character has only had like one big talk, I feel like that talk on the train tracks in the Fool's Kingdom campaign amounts for way more than the hanging out with Bai. Like my character likes the way that Bai does things and the fact that Bai is like stealthy about what they do and doesn't just go in guns blazing kind of thing, right? Um, and my character saw Bai as like this is an important asset because it's like the only nigga on the team who's not just gonna like run in and just kill everybody. They're like using their head to try and like sneak in. And while they may be eccentric, they like have like good ideas. So my character saw Bai as like this is a really cool business partner. And more or less after Bai died, it was like how can Bai help me dead? With that money, yink, and then that was it. Um, so I feel like from my character's perspective, it was like the loss of like a business comrade, but business is business, and the business must go on. So it was just like, well, the show's not over yet, and I just kind of fucked off. But me as a player was like, I got connected to Bai's character, and like I kind of would like to have played like a different guy. Like if Swagzon wasn't the character that they are, I feel like Swagzon would have had like a deeper reaction. But just based off of how Swagzon is, Swagzon doesn't care that much. I think the only regret that Swagzon has for Bai's passing is that whatever Bai would have wanted out of my god just is not going to be fulfilled anymore. That's it. And like nothing else. If Matt's character was to die, I think my character would be curious what it was that Matt's character wanted to talk about with my character when Apia wasn't around. Um, but even then, I don't think my character would be like, oh, I'm so sad. It would be like, I wonder if I could use that sword to like build a god. Like that's more where Swagzon's mind is at. You know what I mean? Ryan said the atomic dismantling jutsu only dismantled. Chakra can be used in constructs and discharged in other techniques. What are the limitations to things you can make out of chakra, like constructs? Kel said, all right, I'm back. Yo, welcome back, Kel. It's good to have you. Ryan said, Jet is dead, killed by shinobi from the village hidden in the clouds. Then Matt said, maybe don't make obnoxious characters then. I like Swagzon. Um, like, I do like Swagzon as a character. Um, and there's nothing wrong with there being like a little bit of a personality disbalance between how Swagzon reacts to things and how I react to things. As long as Swagzon is still a fun character to play, because I feel like that is my thing. If I'm not having fun playing a character, that's when I feel like a character is bad, in my opinion. Um, so it's not that I wasn't having fun playing a Swagzon. It's just that was like one of the biggest discrepancies between like how my character feels versus how I feel that I've had in like Colin's campaign so far. Where it's like, oh, like Bai died, I'm having feels, but Swagzon in D&D is having no feels. Um, then Ryan said the third Sushi Kage is a boss of a fighter. What can they do? And then Matt said, wait, Apio is dead. Jet, we need to talk. So I'm glad that you brought that up, Matt. When I did the big talk with Max and Gerard about the campaign, I was like, if Matt is smart, this is like a direct quote. I was like, if Matt is smart, he will take advantage of the fact that my character is going to be outside trying to like find my new animal companion and essentially alone because I don't think anybody else is going to be outside because one, my character likes to do the whole like camping thing rather than like staying indoors. So even though we have a house that we can stay in for free, I think I would probably camp anyways. And plus, I have to like find my like new animal companion while I'm trying to like wait for a new animal companion to arrive. That is like the perfect time for your character to do that sit down talk that they've been like waiting for. And Yeah, like I brought that up in the car. I was like, that makes the most sense for when Matt would like do that. But then we talked about how, but that becomes a thing about whether or not Matt remembers and whether or not Matt's character would think of that as being an opportunity to seize. Especially since you do the whole switch back and forth thing, you may not be like switched and be thinking, oh, I want to talk to Swags on. Because I feel like one of your switch things doesn't care as much as the other one. Like, it's the god and the sword that wants to talk to me. I don't think the other one would have any motivation to go back there and talk to me. And then Matt said the god would, and then he said light hates you. Yeah, so it really depends on like whether or not you switched into the god that's in your sword or not. Because if you didn't, I think it would actually be really out of character for you to go outside from the comfort of like the home of the farmer to come talk to me. Because I don't know why you would. Let's see. And then we got the next ability of Kel's stand, digital travel. This is the stand's most simple ability. This ability allows the stand to travel through both electricity and data. The stand can go as far away from the user as the user wants with this ability, but if it takes a certain amount of damage while it is away from the user, it will automatically return. Note, because the stand has two bodies, all damage the user would receive from the stand is halved unless both bodies are being attacked. Can only stands hurt other stands, or can you hurt a stand without being able to see it? Because I know that stand users are the only ones who can see stands. I don't know if non-stand users can actually hurt or affect stands. Also, he has stats for the stand, so it's power rank B, speed rank C, range of 15 feet, excluding the digital travel ability. Okay, so you do have the range listed. Durability C, precision C, and potential A. I don't know what any of those letters mean, Kels. I know that its potential is its best stat, that speed, durability, and precision are all like average, and then power is its second best stat. But I don't know anything else. And the range is very clear. The range, it just straight up tells me what it is. 15 feet, I can like visualize that. I have no idea what like the power, speed, durability, precision, and potential like mean because you use like the grade system. Let's see. Ryan said the third Tsukikage has weight manipulating techniques, allowing for making things float in flight and making things really heavy, as well as masterful use of a variety of Doton jutsu, and finally, Jinten or dust release, or also known as particle style. Excuse me. What is Doton? Also, could you tell me more about chakra constructs? I'm really interested in like the limitations of how chakra constructs work. Can you like imagine something and then like make it out of chakra? Like, are there techniques for that? I know that people can do like shadow clones and they can do like genjutsu and make the shadow clone like look like different things. But does anyone just go, I could really use a blank and then like make it out of chakra just as a construct to use? Let's see. Kel said only stands can hurt stands. So with your stand ability, not I couldn't hurt your stands unless I like imagine something that could hurt your stands, I guess. No. So I would have to imagine a stand, right? If I wanted to hurt your stands. But if I did that, you'd be able to read my mind if I had a stand. That'd be interesting. And then John Mason, he doesn't have a stand, so he couldn't hurt your stand. And then Dragon Ball Superfan doesn't have a stand, so he couldn't hurt your stand. So it seems like your stand, even though it has a durability of C, there's nothing we can really do about it. Let's see. Matt said normally stands are manifestations of a person's being, thus have health tied to each other. And then Matt says it doesn't split the damage. His does, because I mean, he just like wrote it. So it's just kind of whatever. Kel said A means Gucci, B means pretty good, C is average, D is meh, E is absolute garbage. Why isn't F absolute garbage? Also, I guess my next question is that's still really vague. Like I kind of already got that vibe that um, the letters meant the same as like a normal grading system. But when you say power is B, right? is that like strength? Is that like how strong your stand like hits? And even then, what does that mean? Does that mean that your stand can like lift like 500 pounds? Does that mean that your stand um, can, I mean, I don't know. Because power already is like a vague descriptor. And then to be like, it has a B in power. It's like, so almost Gucci, but pretty good power. Is like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. And then Matt said, capture the stand in a card. Oh, do the card captor? Yeah, Matt, tell us what superpower you would have and why. Then Ryan said, not and why. Matt, what I would want to know is what superpower you'd have and what would you use it for? Not as much a why, just like what would you use it to do? And then Ryan said, Doton is Earth style. Oh, thank you kindly. Appreciate it. I don't know why I said thank you kindly. I thank you for the information. I said it like you like handed me like $1 or something. I don't know. Kel said I can read anyone's mind. I just can't get a message back. Oh, so if we were two stand users, we could have a conversation, is what you're meaning. Like I could send information to you as well. You're saying it's just like one way. Like you can send information to me and you can read information from me, but I can't purposely send you stuff. Why not, actually? If you can already read my mind and send information to my mind, couldn't I just think stuff and then because I know that you're reading my mind, know that you're getting the information? Like I don't know, that was kind of interesting. And then Matt said, "No, I'm tired. I am actively getting ready for bed." That's understandable. The stream has gone on for a lot longer than normal, so I'm probably about to end the stream and finish watching this Gwenpool video that I've been watching. Ah, I would like to thank you all for watching the stream, by the way. I'm about to do like a big shout out. Yo, shout out to Yotaro, aka Matt. Shout out to Kels. Shout out to Ryan. I'm scooting backwards because I know there are plenty of other people to give shout outs to. Shout out to It's Louie. Thank you, It's Louie, by the way, for sending like so many people over to the channel to check out the stream. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Rachel Rose 22. Thank you for tuning in. Yo, Booty Slapper 65. Thank you for tuning into the stream. Truly appreciate it. Yo, Squirrel Girl 59. Thank you for coming by. Truly appreciate it. Dragon Ball Super Fan. Shout out to you. Thank you for hitting up the stream. Excuse me. Shout out to Batman for coming to the stream. Bruce Wayne himself. Shout out to Thanos for not snapping the stream away. I truly appreciate the kindness. Yo, shout out to Nani for hitting up the stream. Glad to have you. And shout out to Chosen Katura, who was actually the first person to hit up the stream, and your boy Kirby Ultrastar. Shout out to everyone who tuned into the stream. I apologize if I somehow forgot or missed your name. Truly appreciate it. Then Ryan said the Sage of Six Paths had the creation of all things technique, which he used to create the 9 Biju. Creation of all things. So he used it to create the 9-tailed beast. How does that work? And then Kel said, power refers to attack power. B means I have the same power of like a really buff adult male. What would A mean? Let's see. Right now I'm on the Naruto fandom wikia, which is not like an official source. But the creation of all things was a technique possessed by Hagoromo Atsutsuki. Hagoromo Atsutsuki. I may or may not have said that correctly. I apologize for the butchering of the pronunciation. Who used it to create the 9-tailed beast. The process he used is explained to have initially involved the administration of imagination and the spiritual energy which forms the basis of yin chakra to create physical forms from nothingness. Then, through the application of vitality and the physical energy which forms the basis of yang chakra, he would breathe life into the resulting creations. So that straight up just lets you make life. So you need to imagine what you want. You then need to use yin chakra to create the physical being. And then through the application of vitality and the physical energy which forms the basis of yang chakra, you can breathe life into it. Okay, I think I understand. So you imagine what you want, you use yang chakra to make the physical form. So, fuck, I already messed it up. Imagine what you want, use yin chakra to make the physical form of what you want, and then use yang chakra to like breathe energy into it. Then Matt said A equals God, and then Ryan said A isn't that strong, B is much more powerful. So you feel like a buff adult male is stronger than God? Depends on what anime you're watching. Let's see, trivia. So in the trivia on the Naruto fandom page for Creation of All Things, it is said that Izanagi is based on the principle of this technique. During his fight with Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha merged all of the tail beast chakra using Susanoo as a vessel. Kurama described this act as being on par with Hagoromo's creation of the tail beast, except in reverse. What the fuck? What do you mean it's on par but in reverse? Because now it's. How do you do it in reverse? Yang breathes life into them. So was it like sucking the life out? Because the reverse of the creation of all things would not be. Like the reversal of it is not making a new tailed beast. The reversal of it would be to suck the life out of it, like to remove the yang chakra, to like kill it, and then to like dispel the yin chakra to get rid of its physical form, right? That's what I would imagine the reversal of the creation of all things would be. And it would be like the destruction of all things technique. Why would Kurama say it's like the reversal? I get the idea of if you have multiple tailed beast, using your imagination and your yin chakra to like manipulate their physical forms. Like you would manipulate their yin chakra to merge them together into what you imagined, and then combine their yang chakras to like infuse their life forces together. I could see that, but I don't see how that's a reversal of anything. How is that the reverse? That just was like a weird statement, if that like is like what he said. And then Kel said A means you could like break through like a wall. The ranks are pretty vague, so they're more of like a general measuring system. So the sugar stand is as strong as like a buff adult male, and we can't see it and we can't attack it. That already is like pretty strong, not gonna lie. Because how do you defend against that? Um, can stands. Oh, I guess if we had a wall between us, like I could imagine myself surrounded by walls, the stand wouldn't be strong enough to punch through the wall, but then it can travel through data or electricity. Excuse me. So it could probably travel like through my phone. Even if I was protected in a structure, it could like travel into my phone and pop out and then just beat up on me. And now I'm trapped because I can't get through the wall. Uh, so yeah, I mean, just sending them to beat up on people in its own right, considering how it's able to just appear through electronic devices, I'd have to be like an Amish country, not have any electronic tech on me, surround myself in like walls, and then make sure there's no technology around me that it can use to get in. And even then, you can still use the stand to attack my mind. Like it doesn't matter. Because even if they can't travel through you said they can travel through data, right? Like information. You already can use the stands to send information into people's minds. So couldn't you just send information into my mind and with it the stand travel with me? So then the stand travels to me and then just beats up on me and I can't defend myself. I guess I could give myself armor. Actually, yeah. If I gave myself an armor that was like more durable than a wall, then the stands could be like boom, 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 like trying to beat up on me, and I'm like, my armor's just too strong. You just like can't punch through it. And even though the stands could always be wherever I was, I guess as long as I had the armor, I'd be fine. And then as long as the armor isn't like tech, because if the armor was like electronic, then I could also. I mean, even if it was electronic, they just travel to it. They don't become it. They could become it though. So it's good for it not to be electronic because I wouldn't want you to be able to make an armor of like that for yourself. That's interesting. Let's see. Ryan said, but you would need the Renegon, and only the Sage has used it. So you need the Renegon in order to use the creation of all things technique? Is that because of the whole yin and yang chakra thing? And then Kel said, You can always just attack the stand user. True, true. Then Ryan said a destructive power equal to the creation of all things. And then Kel said that's the weakness. The stand user, the stand users is just to attack the stand user. So the weakness is that even if you have like the superpowered ghost thing, the person is still a person. I feel that. Then Ryan said yin and yang release are the types of jutsus that many are. Oh, fuck. I feel like you said that out of order. Yin and yang release are the types of jutsus that aren't elemental. Yeah, you added like a couple extra words to that sentence and it threw me off. So they aren't elemental jutsus. How do you gain access to yin and yang chakra? Do you have to have the Rinnegan to do it? Or is it something that you can just like learn to do? Uh, and this says see also nine masked beast and will materialization. What's will materialization? Let's see. Kel said also since the speed is C, they can only punch and move at the speed of like a normal person. Oh, so they're not like too particularly fast. Does that also count for? I think it says except digital travel. Let me look at it again. So the range is 15 feet unless you're using digital travel. So even when traveling through electronic devices or through information, they can only move as fast as just walking. I feel like I could probably outrun you and your stands then. Because I could, what I use my power for normally is to travel to other worlds and to create my own worlds. So I would probably like create my own world as a safe haven, travel through a portal to it or whatever, and then from that world try and like come up with a plan and like send things in order to like fight you. Ryan said genjutsu are all yin release, and jutsu like shadow possession jutsu are yang release. Interesting. Can so genjutsu is something that everybody can use, right? But can everyone do stuff like yang? Because genjutsu is something that people learn at like the ninja academy. So that's like a general studies people can do genjutsu. But the shadow possession thing, are shadow clones also like yang release? Like does that count? Does what Ino does when she like puts herself in somebody's body, is that also like yang release? Because now you got me hella interested. Uh, right now I'm reading about will materialization on the Naruto fandom wiki or whatever. So this ability allows the user to manifest and materialize their will into a black substance or material for different purposes. The fuck does that mean? Upon being sealed by her two sons, Kaguya Otsutsuki formulated a plan that would result in her eventual resurrection. This led to the creation of the sentient being Black Zetsu, which, as an extension of her will, would enact this plan. Madara was able to use a variation of this technique through his black rods. He was not able to enhance the rod's ability to manipulate the actions of those embedded with them, but also, wait, not only, it didn't say not, he was not only able to enhance the rod's ability to manipulate the actions of those embedded with them, but also manipulate the rods imbued with his will telekinetically. Will in the form of black rods also serves as chakra conductors and can be used with six paths technique through outer path. Weird. And in similar cases, like his creator, Black Zetsu was also able to subtly influence the thoughts of others or forcibly make them do his bidding by directly channeling his will through them. What I don't like about the will materialization thing is I don't understand how it works. It seems like the what is it called? Creation of all things technique has like a straight up defined thing where you like understand how it works. And it's like broken down to where like you have to do this and do this and do this. And then the will materialization thing, it just seems like they could just do it. It didn't give you like a technique of how they did it. Kel said, I'm going to hop out now. Leave any more questions you have for me in the comments of the post. Okay, ballin'. Thank you for your time, Kels. Truly appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful night. Let's see. So now I'm interested in the whole yin and yang stuff. Yin release has like a whole thing. Oh, that's not that long. I thought it was much longer. Let's see. Yin release is one of the two nature transformations that exist outside the elemental circle, along with yang release. It is based on the spiritual energy that governs imagination and is created by altering the ratio of spiritual and physical energy in favor of the former. Yin release can create form out of nothingness when combined with yang release. It allows for use of yin yang release. Yin is depicted as black in the manga and red in the anime. The six paths yin power is represented by a crescent moon marking on the wielder's left palm. Ryan said, yeah, a bunch of those types of jutsu are yang release. Interesting. Although yin was first mentioned in name by Yamamoto during Naruto Uzumaki's nature transformation training, it was earlier hinted at during Shikamaru Naru's fight with Tayuya. He noticed that Tayuya's spirit consisted of much spiritual energy and little physical energy, and noted that she, like himself, made use of special chakra in a battle. Ryan said, maybe read the manga, Jet. I mean, there are only certain things that I'm like getting into right now. I feel like I might read the parts that specifically talk about some of the powers because I think it's cool. But I don't think I would necessarily read all of it. Similar to how with like Marvel, you can be like into specific characters or concepts in Marvel, but not be like, I gotta read every Marvel book. You know, I might dip my feet in on occasion. Monkey D. Luffy said, what's up? Yo, Monkey D. Luffy, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. I have three questions for you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? Right now, I'm reading the Naruto fandom wiki. I'm trying to learn more about yin and yang style. Apparently, in Naruto, there's an ability called um, what is it called? I keep forgetting the name of it. Creation of all things technique, where you can just create like living things, and it sounds really cool. And I'm trying to understand how that works within like the world of Naruto. Monkey D. Luffy said, "Bro, I got Jump Force. Yo, congrats. I pre-ordered Jump Force, so I have it on my PS4, but I haven't played it too much. I haven't been like super into it." Ryan said the chakra receptors are like a low powered creation of all things that only Rinnegan users can do, as Pain can just pop those out with the greatest of ease. The chakra receptors, is that similar to the black rods thing that I read about that Madara had, or is that different? Because I read about that like a few moments ago, but now we're testing like how much of that I actually like retained and understood. So is that similar to the black rods or nah? Let me see. It was later confirmed that the Nara clan utilizes yin release in their shadow techniques. According to the second Misukage, Genjutsu falls under the broad category of yin release as well, being descendants of. Oh shit, I like strung that together as if it was two sentences. Being descendants of the Sage of Six Paths through his elder son, the Uchiha clan predominantly inherited yin release. Yin chakra is also part of the tailed beast chakra. During the Nine Tails attack on Konoha, Minato Nimika. Fuck, just say Minato. Minato used the dead demon consuming seal to seal the yin half of the fox chakra within himself. After being reincarnated by Orochimaru, Minato was then able to use the Nine Tails chakra mode. Yin release can be used offensively when combined with Senjutsu. However, it is unknown what the exact role of the yin release fulfills in said technique. Let's see. Monkey D. Luffy said, I literally just played all the characters for a bit to see their moves, then I'm done with the game. Lol. I'm really into making my custom character and unlocking more of the custom character abilities, so I might play a little bit of Jump Force today. I just don't know when I'm going to jump on it. I know that after the stream, I want to watch more of this Gwenpool video that's going over the full story of Gwenpool. Last night, I read like the whole Marvel.com biography on Gwenpool, and it told me everything about Gwenpool, which I was really surprised. Like it went into like all the way from her origin to like the end of her series, and now I found a video on YouTube that's doing the same thing. It's going from her origin all the way to the end of her series, and then I might also read all her books so that I get like it in three different ways the entire story of Gwenpool. She just seems like a really cool character. Uh, what is Senjutsu? Uh, let's see. Let's read the trivia of yin release. Although not explicitly stated to be yin release, techniques like mind body switch techniques and yin healing wound destruction, as well as Tsunade's yin seal, are connected to spiritual energy and yin either by name or by function. Then Monkey D. Luffy said, "Oh, nice." Then Ryan said, "Creation of all things technique is yin yang release." True, I should just read yin yang release instead of reading yin and yang separately, which was my original plan. Monkey D. Luffy said, "Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen any more Hunter x Hunter?" So I'm currently caught up with where Hunter x Hunter is on Adult Swim, except for the latest episode. So I don't know when Toonami comes on TV, but I know that the website that I have that I like look at to watch Hunter x Hunter is slightly behind when it comes out on television. So I don't get it at the exact same time it comes on TV, but I get it a little bit after. So whatever new episode came out this week in the Chimera Ant arc, I just don't know what happened in it yet until I check the GoGo Anime webpage. But that being said, I am still watching Hunter x Hunter. I am currently where it is on Adult Swim. To give you context, I guess I don't want to give you context because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's watching later. But just know I'm where it's at in Adult Swim. The Netero fight is over. If that gives you any, that's a good enough context. The Netero fight in the Chimera Ant arc has ended, and I wonder if I can give you any more context than that. Monkey D. Luffy said, "Oof, I just wanted to see. I just want you to see the most badass part." Oh, interesting. I'm curious to see what the most badass part is. Let's see. So the Netero fight has ended. I'm trying to see if there's any other hint. It seems like Gon might be about to fight. That's the other thing. So the Netero fight's over, and it seems like Gon is about to fight in the Chimera Ant arc. That's where I'm currently at. I don't think Gon's gonna fight immediately though. It's probably gonna be like a few episodes. They like to build up this kind of stuff. Let's see, Yin Yang release, and apparently on English TV they called it the Shadow and Light style. Um, they make simultaneous use of the Yin release and the Yang release. Yin relates to one's spiritual energy, and Yang relates to one's physical energy, and it's necessary to, excuse me, utilize both of these in order to mold chakra for ninjutsu. Excuse me. Then Monkey D. Luffy said 20 episodes of build up. It can feel like that. I mean, the Greed Island arc, which is still my favorite arc in Hunter x Hunter, I kind of thought the Chimera Ant arc was going to be like my new favorite, but it hasn't lived up to the Greed Island hype. Greed Island to me was just really good. You can summarize that whole arc as like a huge build up to the fight against the bomber, like straight up. Like you can just be like, that whole arc was how are they gonna beat the bombers? And because that's what it ends up being. But it was really good. Like they do a really nice job of training, and then from all that training, see how your characters have progressed and see how they're able to overcome strong opponents. My favorite part of Dragon Ball Z is that first arc where they're going against the Saiyans and against Frieza on Namek, where they're doing like all this training, just getting better. And then you see their training culminate into their final battle against like a big opponent. I feel like Dragon Ball has dropped the ball on like that training buildup. I just don't feel it anymore. And I've never felt it as much as I felt it in like the Frieza arc of Dragon Ball Z. But Hunter x Hunter has been pretty consistent about having them train really hard to overcome like a strong opponent. They did a really good job of it for the Rescuing Killua arc. They did a really good job of it for the Heaven's Arena arc, though there is like a slow point when Gon gets injured. And Greed Island arc fucking killed it. I felt like that's one of like my favorite arcs so far, where you really see them train and progress and get better. There is some training in the Chimera Ant arc, but I feel like it was downplayed heavily. Chimera Ant arc has been like, let's show off our heaviest hitting people, but we didn't get to see them train. We get to see flashbacks of Netero and know that Netero put in work to get where he is, but it's not the same as the episodes and episodes and episodes of training and like commitment that we've put into Gon and Killua over the course of like many arcs. So I don't know, it's just not the same. Greed Island's definitely my favorite shit. Monkey D. Luffy said, "Bomb man, you are the bomber. I am the bomber." Let's see. So yin relates to one's spiritual energy, and yang relates to one's physical energy, and it's necessary to utilize both of these in order to mold chakra for ninjutsu. Let me put the link to what I'm reading, by the way, in the live chat, in case any of you guys also want to check it out. Um, as such, the basis of simply needing chakra and using techniques is based in yin yang release. Furthermore, yin yang release is suggested to be connected to six paths, a term used throughout the Naruto storyline. Hagaramo, also known as the Sage of Six Paths, I'm just going to call him that from now on, had such a mastery over the yin yang release that he used yin to create form from nothing and then used yang to breathe life into what he created. According to Toby, this technique was called the creation of all things technique, which he employed to create the tailed beast out of the chakra from the 10 tails. What? So he used the chakra from a tailed beast to create the other tailed beast? That just wasn't mentioned in the creation of all things article, so that threw me. That actually confused the fuck out of me. The technique Izanagi is said to be based on this technique. That's the second time I've read that. I need to read what Izanagi does. After receiving power from Hagamaru, Naruto Uzumaki gained the ability to use yin yang release to stabilize life forces and restore missing organs through physical contact. However, there appears to be a limit to the extent of what this power can heal. While he was able to save Might Guy from normally fatal consequences of unleashing all eight gates, he was unable to repair the damage done to his leg as a result of using Night Guy, and Guy spent the remainder of his life wheelchair bound. Oh shit. Naruto was also able to resuscitate Obito after the Ten Tails was extracted from him, but both were aware that his death was unavoidable when he was struck by Kaguya. So Naruto can do the yin yang release? Does that mean that Naruto could potentially do creation of all things or not? Then Ryan said he was the ten-tailed Jinchuriki. And then he said Izanagi is really confusing. Oh boy. And then Ryan said not anymore. Oh, so he temporarily could do yin yang release. What allowed him to use yin yang release? Well, he received the power from Hagamaru. I guess the question is, where did it go? Like, why can't he use it afterwards? Oh, Naruto's arm was destroyed? Oh. And then that removed his ability to do it? Oh, get wrecked. How long did he have the ability to use yin yang release before his arm got riggedy wrecked? Does that mean Sasuke can't do it either? Because of the fact that he doesn't have an arm? Let's see. As Tobirama Senju, well, also I think I skipped something. Oh, I don't think I skipped much. So Ryan said the power was in the seal on the palm. Naruto had the yang, and I'm imagining Sasuke had the yin. Monkey D. Luffy said the fuck. So after Guy released all eight gates, Naruto saved him from dying, but he still has broke legs. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like. Wheelchair bound for the rest of his life. That is a hard riggedy wreck. And then Ryan said, yes, Sasuke had the yin. That makes sense. As Tobirama Senju noted, Yin Yang release also has the ability to nullify the effects of all ninjutsu, rendering them useless. The fuck? So, Yin Yang release can literally make something out of nothing, give things life, heal injuries, but not fix every problem in the world, and nullify the effects of all ninjutsu. You can be like, fuck whatever you're doing. I just made life, heal myself, let's go. It gives you a lot of really interesting powers. Obito and Madara Uchiha demonstrated this through their usage of the truth-seeking balls. As Sasuke Uchiha noted, combining his six-path yin power and Naruto's six-path yang power, which was acquired via Hagoromo granting them his chakra, was the only possible method to seal a being as powerful as Kaguya, the progenitor of chakra itself. Interesting. Yeah, yin-yang release is just really powerful. And then there's a trivia section. So, in chapter 606, when Madara speaks to Obito about the techniques he will teach him, the kanji for yin-yang release are read as inyo. In the real world, this is the common reading of, and then it shows some Japanese characters, whereas the Naruto manga normally uses onmyo. Interesting, so it was just used differently. And then in chapter 684, Black Zetsu uses the same reading to refer to Naruto's and Sasuke's yin-yang powers, inyo no chikara. Okay, and then in the See Also section, it has list of yin-yang release techniques. I'm going to go to that. Oh shit, wait, what? The format of this page is weird. Okay, when you scroll down to the bottom, it looks normal. The top part looked like straight garbage. So here's the page I'm currently looking at. So all the yin yang released chakra, well, techniques. You have the creation of all things technique, demising truth seeking ball, divine sword, sword of Nanubaku, expansive truth seeking ball, six pass cross. Oh, I think I skipped. Horizon meteor, six pass Chibaku Tensei, six pass cross lantern, truth seeking ball, truth seeking scorched earth. So these are all yin yang release techniques. Izanagi is not in this list. I was thinking I'd come here and it would have Izanagi. The fuck is Izanagi? Excuse me. I also want to learn about Divine Sword. Divine Sword sounds interesting. So I just jumped back to the previous page, the Yin Yang release page, because I want to click on Izanagi and read it, because apparently it's confusing. How long is this page gonna be if it's like a confusing thing? Oh, Izanagi's a is a genjutsu performed with the Sharingan. This page isn't that long. That's not long at all. Okay. Then Ryan said Izanagi is a Sharingan technique. Interesting. I just posted Izanagi's page in the live chat too. And then he said Izanami is the confusing one. Izanmi. Oh, Izanmi is the confusing one. Interesting. So, with a normal genjutsu, a user will apply an illusion to a target's senses, causing the target to experience things that are not real. With Izanagi, the user applies an illusion to reality itself, giving the user control over what is and is not real for as long as Izanagi is active. Users typically do this in order to protect themselves, negating any injuries they receive or even their deaths. When this happens, their injured self fades away as an illusion, and their non injured self immediately materializes in the previous self's place. In the anime, users are shown extending Izanagi's influence beyond their personal reality, affecting their surroundings and those within it. Izanagi is based on the creation of all things technique used by the Sage of Six Paths to turn imagination into reality. The process is explained to use spiritual energy, which forms the basis of yin release, to create shape from nothingness. Then, through the application of physical energy, which forms the basis of yang release, the shape has life breathed into it. Members of the Uchiha clan, as descendants of the sage, perform Izanagi with their Sharingan. Oh, that's pretty dope. Your boy Monkey D. Luffy said, "Damn, Naruto deep as fuck." So my favorite superpowers are reality manipulation based powers. So I am pretty hype about this, which is why I'm like reading through it. Monkey D. Luffy said, "I thought this shit was like ninja stars and smoke bombs." Naruto's original concept was for them to be like wizards and for them to go to a magic school. I only learned that from reading the Naruto manga, and there's like some excerpts put in by the author, and the author like will tell stories in the excerpts. So he told a story where he was like, yo, so my original idea for Naruto was like this little wizard kid and he did like magic shit. And he talks about how when Harry Potter came out, he was like, oh no, I can't do the wizard idea anymore because I don't want people to look at it as like rip off Harry Potter. So he just made them ninjas instead, but I think he kept the story the same. Like I think he was like, they're ninjas and they're just gonna be like ninja techniques instead of like magic spells. But that's why their powers are so crazy, I think. Let's see. Then Ryan said, but it has cost. Keep reading. The Monkey D. Luffy said, ah, like, have you seen Black Clover? Pretty much Naruto, but mages and wizards. Yeah, I actually feel really weird about Black Clover because I'm like, I wonder if Naruto had stuck with the wizard thing, how people would have felt about it, and if people would have thought it was like rip off Harry Potter. And then would Black Clover have still been like a wizard thing? Because I hear people say that all the time, that Black Clover is essentially just wizard mage Naruto. But then wouldn't that be even more of the case if Naruto had stuck with the wizard thing? Like, do you think Black Clover would have been like, I can't do wizards because Naruto already did it? Like, do you think Black Clover would have been ninjas? I don't know. It's just like a weird thing to think about. Let's see. Even with such an eye acting as a medium, temporary control of reality flow comes at a price. Very limited reserves of time within a single eye. This technique would normally be used for only the most dire of situations, as after the Sharingan with which Izanagi was casted exceeds its limit, becoming powerless, unable to ever use this technique again, or any dojutsu skill and become permanently blind, though its sight and power can be restored by further evolving into a Rinnegan. Because of this, and the Uchiha prizing their Sharingan, to lose their sight in this way prompted them to label it Kinjutsu, which I guess just means like forbidden jutsu. Okay, so anyone with a Sharingan can use Izanagi once, and by doing so, they can manipulate reality temporarily. But as soon as they're done manipulating reality that one time, they can never do that shit again. So everybody has like one chance to do like some crazy god shit. That's an interesting concept. Couldn't you use the crazy god power to just give you another Sharingan? Like, couldn't you be like, I use Izanagi to give myself another Sharingan eye and to also do one other thing? So you're like, I give myself a Sharingan eye and I do some other reality manipulating effect. Then, after you do that, the Sharingan eye that you used is closed up and you're like forever blinded. And then you have the other Sharingan eye that you like maybe put on your forehead. But now you still have two eyes and then you can still like do it more. Like, I don't know. What does it mean by like temporary control over reality's flow? Because it seems like for the death one, you can use it to where like, oh, if I was to die, I didn't actually die. It was like a reality illusion and I'm still alive, right? Well, if you can do shit like that that has permanent consequences, like when it finishes up and your eyes sealed, you don't suddenly go, "Oh, now I'm actually dead." You know what I mean? Can't you just keep stuff like giving yourself another Sharingan? Then Ryan said Fairy Tail is also like mages and wizards. And then Ryan said Izanami is made to count. Oh, wait, fuck. He said Inzanami is made to counter Inzagi. Whoa, what the fuck? Is he like naming different things? Now I'm so confused. And then he said Inzanagi has only one use. Why are you adding extra letters? Is that just another way to say the same thing? You're getting me because you're going Inzanagi, but the way that it's spelled on the wiki is Izanagi. So I'm like, I can't tell if you're talking about the same thing or if you're talking about like a different thing. The Monkey D. Luffy said, I'm about to make a manga slash anime where it takes place in hell with a bunch of demons, and there's one demon that decides to revolt against Satan, and he has to fight everyone there to escape. That sounds really familiar. I went to Second and Charles earlier today, and it had something that sounded like that. Uh, I feel like it has something. Yeah, Lucifer Biscuit Hammer. I read the back of like a manga thing, and it seemed like it was like that. I'll post a link to it in the live chat. But that sounded like what you just said. It sounded very similar. This Wikipedia article doesn't seem to say anything about it. um, it mentions its release, and it mentions that it like existed, and then it has the name of different chapters and its reception. I kind of wanted it to have a little plot descriptor, but it sounded really similar to what you said. And then Ryan said it's just auto-correcting on his phone. Okay, interesting. And then Luffy said, and this demon's power is to absorb others' power, and his physical appearance changes as he gets stronger or some shit. So he'll have transformations and he can use other people's abilities. I've noticed that that's like a popular thing for characters to either have a power that nullifies other powers or the ability to adapt and like use other people's abilities. Mega Man and Kirby are like good examples that come off the top of my head for stuff like that. And transformations are always hype, so I'm down. Yo, if you ever write any stories that are like based within that world that are 250 words or less, feel free to post them in the Amino, and I can do like dramatic readings of them like during streams if you're interested. I also do that for fan fiction. So if you guys ever have any ideas for fan fiction starring your boy Jet, feel free to just put me in any fictional story you want. Write 250 word or less short story, and I'll try and do a dramatic reading of it on the channel. So, like I said, feel free to hit up that amino. The link's in the description box below if you're ever interested in doing anything like that. Let's see. So, oh yeah, I'm still reading the Izanagi page. Because Uchiha only possesses half of the Sage's chakra, they can only keep Izanagi active for a few seconds. To maximize Izanagi's duration, it is necessary to recreate the Sage's chakra by also having genetic material of the Sage's other descendants, the Senju. Danzo Shimura receives both Uchiha and Senju implants, allowing him to use Izanagi for 1 minute. As this is still not very long, he has 10 Sharingan implanted in his right arm, giving him up to 10 minutes worth of Izanagi, which breaks in between as he chooses. Oh, with breaks in between as he chooses. Since he is not an Uchiha, each use of the Izanagi causes Danzo's chakra to drop significantly. Huh. So it's possible to get like the genetic material of Uchiha and Senju put into you and eyes implanted. So you don't even have to be an Uchiha. There is a way to game the system, but to do it, you're fucking with your chakra levels. And if your chakra hits zero, don't you just die in Naruto? Um, because there's a difference between limiting chakra flow, like what Neji does by hitting your like different chakra points to prevent it from flowing, and actually just running out. So it sounds like you could just kill yourself like using it too much, but it also can allow you to essentially be God for 10 minutes. Just manipulate reality however you want for 10 minutes, but then you probably will die. Let's see. Monkey said, yeah, he could start out as a weak little demon and then turn into a giant beast later on as he like fights Satan. It sounds like an interesting concept. What would the main character's name be, and what is their personality like? Then Ryan said Donzo just spams it. He spams it? What does he use it for? Like, what does he do with it? Monkey D. Luffy said, did you say this man has 8 Sharingan eyes on his arm? Mm-hmm. He got eyes implanted on his arm so that he could do it. Do they have genetic engineering in Naruto's world? Like, can they, like, instead of taking someone else's Sharingan eyes to implant into your arm, could you, like, make Sharingan eyes, like, in a lab and then put them in your arm? Also, how does Izanagi work in reference to the ninja science tools? Because the ninja science tools can do stuff like, excuse me, you take a scroll and then someone uses a technique and then it gets imprinted on that scroll and then you put that scroll in a device and then it allows you to use that technique as if you had it. Could you do that for something like Izanagi and it would give you one use of the reality manipulation power because someone else used their Sharingan in order to give you that ability? Like, does shit like that work? Uh, because I still think the ninja science tools are kind of weird. Like, I don't know how those two things would function against each other. Ryan said with Harashiyama cell arm, fuck, Harashi, Hara, Hashirama cell's arm filled with stolen Sharingan. That's a lot to say. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Obito said because he has control over the Senju cells he uses, he is able to keep a single Izanagi active for significantly longer than Danzo. Interesting. As with other Sharingan-based techniques, Izanagi can be programmed to activate under certain conditions. Madara Uchiha did so to undo his death after he'd been entombed, restoring him to life without anyone knowing. Could you, at like the time of your death, not like prevent yourself from dying, but just make like a monster? Like, couldn't you, in a similar way to the creation of all things technique, be like, if I were to die, create like a monster thing and give it like this personality or whatever, and that'll just exist in my place. So you eat shit and die. And then in your place comes like this monster thing that exists, and it just exists in your place, and have it be like, it will avenge my death. Like, it'll try to like kill whoever killed me, and then like live on in my place. Because that sounds like it would be like a really interesting thing to have set up. Then Ryan said ninja science tools don't count. He said when Danzo was weakened, the Arashiyama cell arm lost control, turning into a tree. That's weird. That just sounds weird. So why did it become a tree? And then Ryan said, then you would still be dead. Yeah, but you could still do that. I don't know. I don't think it would be that bad. Um, I like that as a concept. Let's see, influence. Like the various techniques used with the Sharingan, this technique is named after a Shinto god. In this case, it is Izanagi, who, together with his sister and wife Izanami, created the islands and other deities of Japan. Okay, and then it's talking about like Japanese culture and like where the myth comes from. I'm gonna skip to the trivia section. Because members of the Uchiha clan previously abused the use of Izanagi. Really? Izanami was created as a way to punish those who would misuse it. Like Izanagi, Izanami also blinds the Sharingan that is performed with. During initial depictions of Izanagi, the blindness it caused is represented by the eye's lids closing. After the blindness caused by Izanami is depicted as the eye turning blank or white. Izanagi starts being depicted the same way over time. The Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations, Danzo uses this as a part of his ultimate technique, letting his wood release go out of control, creating a tree that crushes both himself and the opponent, and activating Izanagi at the last moment to escape unharmed. Despite Madara using a time-activated Izanagi in the manga, he is not listed as a user of Izanagi in Jin no Sho, which I guess is like a Naruto guidebook. Let's see. Then Matt said a better use of Izanagi would be to just not die. I don't know about that. I really like the idea of creating like an imaginary monster. I think it's a much cooler thing than just being back to life. I'd be fine with like having an imaginary monster live on in my place. And then Ryan said Hashirama is a tree man. Monkey D. Luffy said, okay, I've been thinking. So maybe this demon is actually a human who was sent to hell because he killed a woman and children in the military, but only because he had to. Was like the woman like an enemy soldier, and was the child like a child soldier? Like, what are the circumstances for it? And then that's just an interesting concept. The idea that he did it in the line of duty, but like he still went to hell. Um, And what is his personality like? Because it sounds like he killed them, but he only killed them because he felt like he had to, because he's like trying to protect what he loves, that kind of thing. Um, but that still doesn't give me too much about his personality, other than, he was a soldier and he fought for what he thought was right. So I'd like to know a little bit more about, like, his behavior. How does he think about situations? I know that he's willing to kill a woman and child in order to like protect what he cares about. I know that, but I want to know a little bit more about him. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna read Izanami. So now I'm on the Izanami page. Also, how much could they have abused it? Because you can only use it for a few seconds. That just sounds really odd. The Izanami is one of the Uchiha clan's ultimate dojutsu. What's dojutsu again? Oh, this is the loop thing. So let's see usage. It is a genjutsu which affects the target through physical sensations shared between them and the user to perform the illusion. Like its counterpart, in exchange for the temporary ability that it grants the user, the Sharingan with which Izanami is cast is rendered blind and loses its light forever. According to Itachi, this technique and Izanagi form a pair, but unlike the latter, which is a technique capable of altering destiny, Izanami is instead one that decides it. What? Ryan said Hashirama has the wood release and is the only one known to have it. The Leaf Village is so because in part by Hashirama's trees. Interesting. The Monkey D. Luffy said he only went into the military because his family was poor and he sends all his money to them. So we can tell that he cares about his family and that he fought in the war because he needed to do what he had to do in order to help his family survive. So I do feel like I know a little bit more about him. I still want to know about his personality. Clearly, he cares about his family and he's willing to do anything to help them, even if it means that he has to join the military. But what else do we know about him? Because I feel like those are all good things. But I guess I want to know, like, if I was to have a conversation with the guy, what kind of person would he be like? Because I don't think I'd be like, hey man, how's your day? And he'd be like, I have to do anything for my family. I mean, I feel like if the conversation went that way, he would, like, say something like that. But I don't know what kind of person he is. You know what I mean? And then Ryan said dojutsu are eye techniques. Oh, thank you. So activation requirement for Izanami. To begin the technique, after selecting any arbitrary moment, the caster uses their Sharingan to remember the physical sensations both of their body and that of their opponents during that instant like a photograph, represented as A. The user must then intentionally replicate the same sensation in the same way, memorize that instant with their Sharingan, represented as A apostrophe. Izanami overlaps and connects these two identical bodily sensations, A and A apostrophe, as well as the flow of time between them, creating an infinite loop of events that entraps the opponent's consciousness. The user can also use their Sharingan to remember multiple sensations, represented as B, C, and so forth, and those sensations will also be used when Izanami is activated. The user can also doesn't need necessarily to replicate A with A apostrophe to initiate Izanami. They can also replicate B with B apostrophe or C with C apostrophe as well. The more sensations they memorize, the better their chances would be to initiate Izanami on a person, and the more sensations the victim will experience each time they repeat a loop. That is such a weird way to describe that. I feel like I understand it. The A apostrophe part is the only thing that fucks with me. The user must then intentionally replicate the same sensation in the same way. What do they mean by replicate the sensation? Do they mean that they just imagine the sensation that they're remembering? Or do they have to do it in real life? Like, if the sensation is like the sensation of being cut by a blade, do you remember the sensation with A, and then for A apostrophe, like cut yourself with a blade? Like, how does that work? Because that's the only thing that's messing with me. I don't understand how you make the A apostrophe or B apostrophe, C apostrophe, etc. Let's see the effects. Whilst under the effects of the technique, the target stands motionlessly as the loop of events continually replays inside their mind. Each time a loop is repeated, any physical damage incurred is reset as it were before the start of the loop, although the remains of severed appendages do not disappear. The illusion of the user and wait a minute, wait, what? The loop thing sounds interesting. I actually am fucking with this. Um, let's see. Ryan said Izanami was used once and was complex. Monkey Luffy said, okay, so he is actually a coward type person. Oh, for his story. He doesn't really like violence and isn't strong. He only shot the woman and child because his leader was yelling at him to do it. So he's a coward. So he's not super brave, but he's willing to do anything for his family. And he doesn't like violence, and he's not strong. So he's not a good fighter, but he's a willing fighter if he has to for his family and if he's put under pressure. So he doesn't want to fight, he's not good at fighting, but he will if he feels like he's forced into the situation and that he has to do it to help support his family. So that's interesting. Um, then Ryan said, look up Koto Amatsukami after you finish reading Izanami. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I was going to ask you a question, Ryan. So, I want to know your opinion on this. Each time a loop is repeated, any physical damage incurred is reset as if it were before the start of the loop, although the remains of severed appendages do not disappear. Could you have someone in their Izanami cut out their Sharingan eye, and then the Sharingan eye fall out, and then when the loop happens, their eye grows back, but then their Sharingan eye is still on the ground, and then you I mean not necessarily on the ground, but could you use that as a way of harvesting Sharingan to get a continuous supply of new Sharingan that you can then implant into people? Because if they cut out their eye, right, and their eye falls out in every loop, in every loop their eye falls out, then can you harvest a whole bunch? Why not? If severed appendages don't disappear. If their severed eye doesn't go away after each loop, when they just leave a whole bunch of eyes? Uh, I don't see why not. And then Ryan said the appendages cut off in the loops are just genjutsu. Oh, so they're illusion appendages. I see. I thought they were actual. I was like, man, that seems useful. The illusion of the user and anyone they were fighting alongside also have any damage reset as well, such as the blindness that comes with Izanami. Despite being able to become consciously aware of their situation and act differently, the victim is unable to significantly alter or escape from the inevitable progression of these events, as the illusions they're fighting will also quickly adapt to their changes in order to force the victim to experience the memorized sensations. However, because this technique was created to reprimand and save the users of Izanagi, the victim is able to escape the infinite loop if they can acknowledge the real results of their actions and in doing so accept their fate. Excuse me. In the anime, it's shown that there is no other way to undo this technique, even by someone who has complete control over their chakra. The illusion of the caster also seems to be sentient, as the illusionary Itachi was shown to be shaking his head when Kabuto futilely tried to undo the technique without accepting his fate first. The illusion of the user and anyone they're fighting alongside also repeats their verbal actions, such as the illusionary Itachi telling the illusionary Sasuke not to leave his side, an action Itachi did to Sasuke. The illusion of the user will continuously tell the victim to take a closer look at them and acknowledge their mistakes until they do so. Hmm. Let's see. Ryan said, while looping, you are trapped inside the genjutsu until you submit and accept your fate. Yeah, that's pretty much what it just said. Um, hmm. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I'm on the creation part. I thought I was still in the part before. So in creation, according to Itachi, there was a point in time where members of the clan abused the abilities granted by Izanagi, instead simply by casting the technique as a means of escaping the undesirable results of their actions. Whilst this resulted in little issue if only one person were using Izanagi, if there were two or more casters, they would begin to fight amongst each other over personally favorable outcomes. Thus, as dojutsu users were unlikely to succumb to ocular genjutsu, Izanami was created as a method to reprimand such clansmen as well as save them from their own arrogance. By imprisoning them within an unalterable loop of events, the victim was forced to accept the reality they had created if they ever wished to escape the illusion. However, because of the dangers involved in using a technique with a built-in escape route in a real battle, Izanami became classed as a forbidden jutsu, a kenjutsu or whatever. As such, Izanami is ironically not a genjutsu to be used on an enemy, but a friend who has lost their way as a means of helping them find themselves again. Interesting. I prefer Izanagi because it seems good. And then I'm going to skip the influence section because it's just going to talk about Japanese culture. Ryan said Kabuto accepted his fate to be a good guy. Yeah, I'm aware of the Kabuto loop thing. I just didn't know the name of it. Now, you wanted me to search this, like, long name. What was the thing? I remember saying it and thinking it was like a crazy mouthful. Yo, Crit, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. Crit, I have 3 questions for you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? And do you have any discussion topics that you'd like to talk about on the stream? Right now, I'm just going through the Naruto fandom wikia and reading more about Naruto. I don't know a lot about Naruto's lore, so this is just my way of like learning more. Not Naruto. Ryan said, I need to look up Koto Amatsukami. Never heard of that. Then Monkey said, geez, that's like 3 words put together. It's definitely a mouthful. I also feel like I became partially country when I said, never heard of that. Uh, but wow, that's a lot. Okay, so I'm going to call it Koto for short. Koto is a dojutsu, which is eye based Naruto technique that casts a powerful yet subtle mind controlling genjutsu on the target. Orion said that it translates to distinguished heavenly gods. Definitely going to call it Koto for short. Usage. The technique allows the user to enter the mind of any individual within their field of view and manipulate them by giving them false experiences, making it seem as if they were doing things of their own free will. Oh, so it makes them think it was like their choice to do it. It is regarded as a genjutsu of the highest caliber, due to the victim being entirely unaware that they are being manipulated. As a testament to his power, it was strong enough to negate Kabuto Yukushi's control over a reincarnated Itachi, despite the former's binding being considered near absolute. Crit said, just curious what time it is for you. It's 12:51 for me. It is 2:52 a.m. So it's almost 3 in the morning for me. For me, it's currently Sunday, and I don't have classes on Monday. So it's early Sunday morning. After this stream, I'm probably going to finish watching a video about Gwenpool, who's a Marvel character I've shown a lot of interest in as of recently. I'm going to finish watching her video. There's about like 32 minutes left. The video covers all the way from her origin story to the end of her 26 issue comic book series run, and I've been really enjoying it so far. So I'm probably going to finish that video, check a few text messages that I've received, and I received a Facebook message from my girl Danica, and then after that I'm just going to hit the hay. But yeah, Crit, thank you for stopping by, and like I said, if you have any questions or discussion topics, feel free to ask me. Let's see, or to bring them up for us to discuss. Let's see. So, as a testament to his power, it was strong enough to negate Kabuto's control over reincarnated Itachi, despite the former's binding being considered near absolute. After having the crow cast the technique, Itachi noted that the dojutsu required at least a decade before it could be used again. This period can be drastically reduced through the possession of Hashirame chakra, even for a non-Uchiha transplantee, as observed by Danzo's use. I almost forgot what the power did. It said so much extra bullshit. So do I already understand the power? It lets you make people think that they're doing something that they want to do, but it's really hard to do because it takes like almost 10 years to prepare unless you have Hashirama chakra, which just lets you do crazy bullshit. Then Ryan said Shishui died. Danzo stole one eye. Shishui entrusted Itachi with the other before his suicide. Okay, cool. I'm probably not going to read the rest of this page. It's just a lot. I like it when they explain not only how it works, but what you have to do it. So, part of what I liked about the last one is that it was like, so you have to understand sensation A, and you have to create sensation A apostrophe, and gotta do all this. I like learning about like the conditions that you need to fulfill a power. That's what got me on this whole train because I like how the creation of all things techniques works and like things of that nature because it explains how it works the way it does. This like says this is what it does and then in many words tries to explain like some conditions that existed. I'd rather it be more direct. What was the section that the last page had Izanami that was like dedicated to telling you how it worked? Activation requirement. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's what that other page needs because I that's all I really cared about. do 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 do. So let me look back at the yin yang release techniques page because there was one technique on there in particular that I really wanted to learn about. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Ay, bum 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 dun dun dun. Divine sword. Okay. So the user hits the opponent with several of their truth-seeking balls. Then, using the flight ability obtained through the six paths, senjutsu, the user flies above the opponent and creates the sword of Nonobaku using their shakujo as a medium. I have no idea what these words mean. The weapon is then launched into the ground through the target, creating a black-colored shockwave in the process and dealing quite significant damage to the opponent. And it's from the game Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Cool. Bye. Bye. That was a lot. So it's the combination of a whole bunch of these is what that is. It's just like a super move. Ryan said Itachi embedded the eye into a crow and then shoved the crow down Naruto's throat, which would come out when exposed to Itachi's Sharingan and activate on Sasuke to turn him good again. It's weird the whole Itachi is a good guy story plot. It's kind of reminds me of the Snape is a good guy Harry Potter story plot, which is interesting because Naruto was almost about wizards. um, but I think I now probably am going to end the stream. That way I can watch that Gwen Pool video and then head to bed. But don't worry, at some point later today, I probably will do a Lego World stream or a Jump Force stream at some point, so stay tuned for that. Also, stay tuned because tomorrow after midnight, I'm going to do another one of these streams where I hang out with you guys and have these discussions and talk about my day. Thank you all once again for tuning in. Shout outs to everybody that's been on the stream. I did a shout out earlier to everyone, but I'll do a quick shout out also to Crit, who joined a little bit later, as well as Monkey D. Luffy. So thank you all once again for tuning in. This is your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, logging out. Monkey D. Luffy said, "All right, good night, man. Have a wonderful night, Monkey D. Luffy." And then Ryan said, "But it got used on Itachi himself, revived by Impure World Resurrection, and undid Kabuto's control." And then he said, "Itachi greater than Snape." Then Crit said, "Good night, man. Good night, Crit. I hope to see you guys later for a potential Lego World stream or for the after midnight vlog stream." But yeah, I'd like to thank you all once again for tuning